Everybody, this is Edward back with another video, another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I am your host, Edward Anderson, and today what we're going to do is we're going to do a reaction to a video from the lead attorney. You know, one thing I want y'all to keep in mind is I still like the lead attorney. I have no problem with the lead attorney. You know, as far as, the dust up stuff that happened between Glendon and all of that shit. At the end of the day, opinions are opinions. That is what that is. That happened with that. That happened what that happened. He stood on what he said. I stood on what I said. At the end of the, and that is what that is. Keep in mind that is an opinion about somebody else and not about something that I have done or conducted myself. So I really don't have a problem with that. And no matter how, that is what that is. So what we're gonna do real quick is lead attorney actually just promoted to put this video out here. So I fair use, but I'm gonna do a reaction to it, and I'm really gonna do a reaction more to what the female says and what he says. I've seen enough of it to know. I mean, this is an on point video. He's putting this out more to highlight what the woman is saying. So and I shared another video he did with the dude, and the dude, I mean, that's some typical shit stuff right there. I'm not even gonna label that. So yeah, so let's jump right into this. Let's have some fun with it. And it's gonna be kind of like my video for the day, my stuff for the day. So let's jump in. I was actually thinking about whether I should do this or whether I should do the height thing, because there's been a couple of videos. I know Obsidian did a video going again with Rashida Schrober on the heightism thing. I know Poor Man is doing that. I'll probably talk about that after this. Just to pop some other stuff out. But let's go ahead. Press 1 if you can hear it.
Oh, you're fine.
I came across a clip where Kevin Samuels was talking about, or it was a very short clip. So if I take it out of context, I apologize. But he was basically telling a woman that her degree didn't matter. He was telling her that the accomplishments that basically she got, or that she wanted to pursue, she should
press 1 if you can hear
it. Forego that and focus on the marriage, the husband, and the children. And I thought that was a little unfair because, one, and before I find my husband, I need to be able to meet my husband where he is, regardless of wherever I decide that should be. But I need to be able to, because if something happens to him, who else is supposed to support him?
Okay, so first of all, here's why what she said is bullshit already. She said, and I quote, "I should be able to meet my husband where he is, wherever I decide it should be." Now, the primary, she's trying to see here's where the hustle is. What she's trying to do is she's trying to make it seem like she's doing this for her future husband, her husband she does not have. Kind of like, Jada talking about Tupac at her at damn me 60 years old. She's pretty much lusting over a 25-year-old. That is literally what she's doing, because Tupac did die at 25, and she probably knew Tupac when he was 20. Let's keep that real. Tupac is immortalized as a 25-year-old, but that is when he passed. So what she's doing is she's talking about a husband she does not have. So she doesn't know what his needs are. She doesn't know anything. So what she's essentially doing, it's easy to control stuff when you ain't got to deal with it up front. So what she's doing is she's inserting what she wants and trying to mask it and wrap it around what a husband needs. The truth is, you don't know what your man needs until you actually have one. And when I say a man, I'm talking about a husband. And lead attorney will actually talk about that, but he'll say in a different way. But I just want to highlight here, she kept saying what I want. What I want. I'm gonna rewind that a little bit, like 15 seconds, so you can hear it again.
And the children. And I thought that was a little unfair because, one, and before I find my husband, I need to be able to meet my husband where he is.
Now, she clearly said, before I find my husband, I need to meet him where he is. That is something a man would say. Before I find my wife, I need to be at a certain level. Maybe not meet her where she is, but meet what her expectations would be if I want a certain type of wife. Because a wife is a receiver. A wife is the benefactor. You see what I'm saying? She's thinking like this, like a fucking man. And I'm not saying that to beat her up, but I'm saying the way you're thinking, you are going to attract betas. And then you're gonna be mad. And we're not even gonna get on the look, we're not even gonna do all of that. We're just talk about what she's saying. And then look how the chick in the middle, how she's shaking her head. Because even though she's more attractive than the other female, the problem is she's not so attractive that she can get the men she wants. Y'all haven't seen like her full figured. I have. She's not really in, like a guy like the lead attorney. The guy like the lead attorney would not date her. That's the thing. You see what I'm saying? You need to understand that. And so just because she may look better than other chick, she's still not enraged herself. So when she's shaking her head, and this is what these women do, they get around each other, they start cattling around each other. Freeman, I see you. I'm probably gonna look at the video today, just let you know. Cattling around each other, because I could just bang it out at 2.0 playback speed, and I'll give you that feedback you wanted. They get in this cackling thing where they start emotionally resonating. You're gonna see, let's go. You're gonna see it.
Regardless of wherever I decide that should be. But I need to be able
But she said, I decide that should be. But so you're not doing it for him, you're doing it for you. Because you're the one that decides what that should be. Kendra actually talked about this on the Lapeef Network. She said that, they asked about degrees, and she said, maybe my husband needs me to go and get an accounting degree. I may not want to do it, but I'll go and get that discipline to help him in what he's trying to do. But see, that's a need that she's meeting once the need has made itself clear. This is not what this woman is talking about. And this is very important. This seems like this is petty. Seems like that's petty, but this is big, because this is like in how they foundationally think, because this is what they've been taught to think.
Because if something happens to him, who else is supposed to support the household? So if I go out to make myself as
well, that shit is true for any of these chicks. Any of these chicks are saying that. All these women that want these niggas to make all this money, they're not saying that they want to be a stopgap. Kevin has had video after video after video, call after call after call of women saying that if everything gets fucked up, do you want to be the one that's on the hook for the house? No, they don't. And this is why, what are the two top reasons for divorce statistically across races? Money and sex.
Versatile as possible in the job market to be able.
So a lot of times these women bail out. These are not these women of old. These are not women that are like they was married to Denzel Washington or married to Magic Johnson. These chicks bail. A chick that's like, for any female that's like 50, like under 50, they bailing. They not sticking it out. Not in the law of averages. I'm talking about the women that get married.
To add to him. What's the problem with that?
The problem is you're adding to me on your terms. If I tell you this is what the fuck I need, and I've told y'all this on this platform, what I want in a female is I want a female that can basically do a lot of the social shit. I'm introverted. Now, I can be extroverted. I can talk. Y'all have seen it. But I don't prefer to do that. I want a woman that can go in there and work a fucking room. I want a woman that knows how to make friends. I want a woman that knows how to make friends with dudes without fucking them. I want a woman like that. I want a woman that when she walks in that room freezes. That's what I want, because once that impression is made, then I can do what I need to do. I want a woman that will elevate my value in the minds of other dudes based on how she looks. Why? Because that will give me the ability to close deals and work with people. Not to say I can't do that on my own. That makes it easier. And so everything I give you will be in service of being able to make that happen. That's as far as on the front end. On the back end, what I'm looking at is a female that's capable of translating culture and information to children I will have. Well, how do you think about homeschool? How do you think about this? If you're educated, I expect those kids to be educated at an extremely accelerated rate. I'm going to do that on my own, but I'm talking about with you. A college degree means nothing to me if a college degree is about your fucking ego. It means nothing to me.
And also still pursue finding love or, you know, finding a husband.
Nobody's saying you can't do both. They're saying you should do both. But see, the problem is when it comes down to it, you're prioritizing the degree over the man because you want the man to work around your fucking degree, which is why you're upset in the first place, because you're upset because we don't value it the way you think we should value. You got niggas. I'll get in this. Let's go.
The problem is that last part that you said, you said you want to add to him, right? And I think that's good. You should certainly add to your man. But you have to understand that your man doesn't need you to add to him in all ways. Your man needs you to add to him in certain ways.
Your man needs you to add to him in ways that he tells you or the way that he clearly communicates. Some of y'all can find gaps, but most of these women are not insightful enough to really find gaps in these dudes. They call finding gaps they want to take the dudes they sexually like and they want to push them to be the dudes that they can show off. That's not the same thing. That's you mommying a dude. It's not the same thing.
Getting a psychology degree is not a way that a man.
A psychology degree is worthless unless you're going to use it to sell people and close deals.
Needs you to add to him. You getting a master's in early childhood development is not an addition to him, right? And to be honest,
these little boys still can't read.
Maybe you even getting a law degree isn't an addition to him because whatever you make, you're going to generally want him to make more than you anyway. So you want your
look. I want you to pay attention to something because what's the point of lead attorney speaking? Probably the greatest thing because look, he's basically saying what's common sense, which he's good communicating. But what's important about him talking is this. I'm gonna rewind what he's saying. Y'all need to pay the fuck attention to the chick in the middle. Pay attention to her body language in the middle. Pay attention to that. And I sped it up a little bit, but still pay attention to that. In fact, I'll slow it back down because this isn't a long video. Pay attention to how she responds to things that he says. Now, she's been on his show multiple times. Lead attorney at his power level, at his subscriber level, has gone on her show. And that was the most viewed video on her show. So he has paid it forward when he didn't have to. Now, so, pay attention.
You getting a psychology degree is not a way that a man needs you to add to him. You getting a master's in
you see that? See how she had like you see how she's shaking her head, but it's the friction
in early childhood development is not an addition to him, right? And to be honest, maybe you even getting a law degree isn't an addition to him because whatever you make, you're going to generally want him to make more than you anyway. So you see that shit when she's doing the eye shit, bitch, you ain't outside, ain't nothing hitting your eye. What the fuck? I haven't seen this video all the way through. This is real time. Come to be supplemental, but to a very small degree. And that's what Kevin Samuels has been able to get out, elicit from so many women. When women are asked, how much do you want to contribute to the household before it falls to shit? What do most women say? 0.
I just don't get it. I've worked so hard on my online business, but I'm still not profitable.
Because you suck.
0. How are you helping him out with your degree? Your psychology degree, where is it when you want to contribute? 0.
You see that? She ain't always in disagreement with her body language. She's not always in disagreement with her body language, but certain things she say, like she knows. Here's the thing. When you're a lawyer, you have to be logical. You have to be. So any chick, when you tell me a lawyer, I automatically know you had to get a degree. You had to get that degree. You had to pass the bar. I know you logical. So I know you have the ability to be logical. So all that emotional shit can kick in the birds. And so she knows it. It's like wind. It's like somebody farted. She knows it. But she knows he's right. This is not like some crazy shit he's saying. This is common sense. But it's like a kid. I don't want it to be real though. She ain't dumb. She know this is that when logic and emotion start to collide. And she's not always doing it. Now watch when the other chick speaks, and we'll see what happens then.
So when you say, oh, we're getting this degree to help you out, but then you don't want to help out, well, now I see a contradiction. Do you see where I'm coming from?
I understand that, but
I understand that, but AKA logically what you say makes sense, but I feel like
that's where I feel like we're painting.
What the fuck did Oh my God, let's go.
All women with one stroke of a brush.
All women. No, we're just talking about what the fuck you just said.
I understand that, but that's where I feel like we're painting all women with one stroke of a brush. I don't want.
No, we're not. That's a key word is you feel like that. That's not what's happening because most women don't have college degrees. So what are we talking about? Y'all make it sound like every bitch is degreed up.
Contribute zero to my household. I don't want to be the breadwinner either, but I do want to.
That's the point.
Make myself as diverse as I need to be to fit my husband's needs. And
when you keep saying diverse, that's cold. That's that scatterbrain shit. What are you talking about being diverse? All you cook for these kids, be capable of being able to homeschool these kids. There's basic skills that are required for you to be proficient at. Other than that, be able to budget, be able to cook, be able to be a good homeschool person. You know, you like the shit. This isn't you trying to. Oh, I gotta do all this shit. No, you don't. Because dudes will set systems up in place to create. See, she wants to create structure. She's trying to find her value. And your value is in what the fuck he tells you it is. That's it. It's not that complicated. But you want to be able to impose this pedigree onto him. And that's crazy because it's like if you want somebody that's supposed to be better than you doing that, that creates a conflict. It creates a conflict. It's a psychological conflict that you really need these chicks to really mentally have unwound. Fuck them up.
I do have to go out and make money.
And so we're going to hold on. We're going to repeat this shit real quick. I forgot. Pay attention to the chick in the middle. I see you in there, Jackie O and Gail. Appreciate it, Gail.
I understand that.
And pay attention to what she says, and let's see how much let's see if she shows body language if she disagrees with this chick.
But that's where I feel like we're painting all women with one stroke of a brush. I don't want to contribute zero to my household. I don't want to be the breadwinner either, but I do want to make myself as diverse as I need to be to fit my husband's needs. And if I do have to go out and make money, why not do it in a way that makes me happy? Not just any way I can because I did not.
Why do you agree with that shit? Now, part of this seemed like she kind of twins it up, but we'll see.
Prepare myself to have to go out into the workforce because I left that on my husband. Does that make sense? So even though I might not open, a practice or I might not, join a law firm or whatever the case might be, I still have these skills that will make me more.
The problem is you're getting these skills you're not doing both. We know black women don't do both. So let's cut the cap. And to be fair, I know black women that did both, that are married till this day. And they got married only a couple of years after they got their degrees. So no, I know the women that do, but most of y'all are not doing that. That's some shit you tell yourself to cope. To be fair, her body language, in my opinion, is pretty neutral when this chick is talking. Right now,
marketable in the job market. if I have to go out there. I don't have to go.
But the truth is, this is that I don't want to need a man bullshit.
Walmart and get a job because I don't have any other accomplishments on my resume. So I understand that, you know, if we want the things that we want as far as men being providers.
You don't need a degree you don't need a degree to not have to go to Walmart. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real with you. If you know how to do hair and do nails, you're not gonna have to go to Walmart. You know, like there's backup skills you can definitely have that will that you can fall back on. But again, y'all look at black people, whether it's men or women, look at the extremes to justify their course of action is correct.
And all of that. We do have to take a back seat, but that doesn't mean that I can't want the best for myself. And I can't teach my kids to want the best for themselves.
Again, herself. See, it's about her. And I wish she'd just go ahead and say that shit. She keeps on trying to make it like she's in service to a man. No, it's about you. It's not about what you're trying to do for him. It's not. It's about you. And you need to be honest about that. Fuck the lead. You need to be honest about that for you. Because you lying to yourself.
You can want the best for yourself and want the best for your kids and not try to get a PhD in psychology. You can do both. Why are you making it just like an either or thing?
I'm not making
all I'm saying is if getting a PhD makes you happy, get your PhD in psychology or whatever you get it in. Do not take the step further and expect that a man will give it the credit that you want him to give it. That's all I'm saying. Get it for you and your kids if you want. But don't come over.
And you're not getting it for your kids. That's cap too. That degree has nothing to do with your fucking kids, because there's women that got degrees and they sons can't even these motherfuckers be lying.
Here and tell me how I need to value it. I'm going to value it the way that I want to value it. You get it if you want to get it.
AKA, unless you got your own practice, if you got a psychology degree, bitch, you might as well not. That tells me you got debt and a worthless degree. I can't wipe my ass with no psychology degree. Unless you're in sales, unless you're attractive and you're in sales and you're willing to get into sales, a psychology degree don't mean shit. Let's be very clear about that.
No one's punishing for you. No one's punishing you to get it, but you're saying it sounds like, why isn't it valued the way that I want it valued? That's not the. Go ahead.
Not necessarily in that way. I'm more so saying that it's being portrayed as if it's being spoken about as if women can bring nothing.
No, it's not. What we're saying is the shit that you all are highlighting don't fucking matter. Which is why y'all stay losing on the niggas y'all want to get. We're telling you what counts. You're saying it don't count. And you're trying to use niggas like all these niggas want to deal with me. Doesn't matter because you don't want to deal with them. That's the problem. And that's why motherfuckers just stop talking.
To the family dynamic. Like
no one's saying that women. Wait, that's too broad.
No. I'm just saying that's the perspective that I get when I see these clips. That's
that
why
women bring nothing.
The problem is you see clips and that doesn't have context. Also, what really annoys me about this shit is I grew up with like y'all forget we grew up. Y'all are pretending to be the women that we grew up that were like a lot of our parents. Y'all are trying to be them. Y'all are not them. So y'all are just like, it's like y'all talking, but there's just nothing behind it. It really isn't. Like, and I'm not, and that's the thing. And the thing I would say to this sister, is I was like, look, you got to understand that what you think matters doesn't. And a lot of what doesn't matter has to do with your own ego. It's about you. See, the difference between men is we're measured by our utility. There is no men have inherent value, not in the black community. And quite frankly, for the most part, in America, it's not looked at like that. It's just a matter of degrees in which motherfuckers don't give a fuck about men. She's not thinking from a utility standpoint. She's thinking about it from an ego standpoint. And a lot of this is what feminists taught. This is that programming. This is what that really is. And this is what really makes me mad, because she's not a bad person, but this is programming. I'm not talking to her. I'm not talking about her. I'm talking to an algorithm right now. That's what that is. I can see it's an algorithm. It's not even real. It's like a possession. And this is why I can literally predict what she's going to say and how she's going to go about it. No, I'm not, TJ. I'm not really going in. I'm just very direct and very straight to the point. It's an algorithm. And I see how this algorithm will fuck her life up. And she don't even see it. She don't even see it. She don't even see it. Because I'm going to tell you right now, she ain't looking to build no nigga. She's not looking to work with a nigga. She's looking to get a dude that's already ready-made, because she already said it.
Well, little to nothing. Like that's what I'm getting from it. Like, even if I go little to nothing, like that's what, like.
No one's saying that women, wait, that's too broad.
No. I'm just saying that's the perspective that I get when I see these clips. That's
that
why
women bring nothing?
Well, little to nothing. Like that's what I'm getting from it. Like, even if I go out and get a degree, it means nothing to a man. That's
there you go with the degree.
Education wise, I think is what
thank you. Like, let's no, you're fine. You're fine.
Thank you, Suzette. So what I'm saying is, if I go out and I seek, higher education.
The problem is a lot of y'all are not fucking educated. That's the truth. That's the truth. And I'll prove it. I'll prove it. Take a female that don't have a degree. They may be a little bit too masculine, a little bit masculine and shit. I get it. Take a degree, take a chick, no degree, comes out of the military. I promise you she'll be far more educated than these chicks with master's degree and what the fuck ever. Black women are black women. Seriously. Now, there may be other issues there, but as far as skills and the ability to go into the observable world and actually make things happen, not just the tangible skills, but the intangible mindsets, I promise you, pound for pound, and I know there's a lot of reputation for chicks in the military. I get it, but I'm just saying, pound for pound, you take women that's got a bachelor, the average black woman that's getting these average degrees, because we know black women are not getting degrees in STEM, and you measure them up to a black female that comes out of the military without a degree, I bet you they'll run fucking circles around them. Fucking circles. I'll tell you one better. You take a chick that comes from a single mother household versus a female that comes from a single mother household that's degreed up. Let's take the gender out of it. They'll run fucking circles around them a lot of times. The average woman getting the degrees that they're getting, because the average black woman is not getting a law degree, a STEM degree, or any of that. That's not what they're getting. And that's not what they're getting. This is not to say white women are doing it either. They're not. Asian women got higher percentages. Latin women, you might as well put them with white women. So my point is, that's not the point. That's like, it's where you all are focused in the education, and you can look at the kids and see that. Even if you just focus on women that have degrees and up, and then separate all the women that don't, and then look at it, I bet you that shit don't look good.
And I do that with the idea that in some way I'm going to be able to use this skill, whether it's in the home, outside the home. I'm going to be able to use my education.
That's bullshit, because the education you're talking about has. Let's see.
Make my family more well-rounded. Why is that looked at as not valuable? Like, you can use your degree. I guarantee you, there's a lot of skills that you receive as an attorney that you didn't necessarily learn in a book. TLA. You understand?
Let me ask you this.
What she's trying to do is the problem I have with what you're saying comes back to this. You were trying to tell me I as a man, I am the logical force, meaning we're the ones that know how to build structure and outcomes, inputs, process, outputs. Now, obviously, every man is not as proficient on this as they should be. That's up to you as a female and who you pick and who you fucking. Don't tell me niggas don't build if you fucking niggas that don't build, because you voting for niggas that don't build. Just saying. But, as the logical force, You're trying to out logic me. You're trying to use your feelings to override my logic. And see, the thing about it is I do well with assertive women because generally assertive women know if you're going to try to get into the arena, and when I say the arena, I mean have a conversation, get influence, you need to do it by way of logic. Now, granted, femininity works better, but if you're gonna say something, it needs to make sense. It can't always be because I feel like, and in the end, that's not gonna work. The dude's just gonna tune your ass out. And see what she's doing is she's trying to put logic in there, but the truth is really I feel I'm giving service to logic, but really I feel like this, and then I'm just gonna keep saying some shit until you say some shit that I fucking want to hear, which is basically the lead attorney capitulating to what she's saying. That's really what she's looking for.
You think a man has the right to judge the value that you place on getting a PhD for yourself?
Absolutely. In his life. Absolutely. How can this benefit me, or does it benefit me? Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay.
I do believe that.
Well, that's what he's doing. So what's the problem?
My problem is, why is it being taught that it's not valuable? Why is it being taught?
It's not. No.
Content creators that if a woman.
Oh man, it's a trap. I got to get that sound bite. It's a trap. Shout out to OJ Ray with the $11 cash out. Much appreciated.
Goes to achieve any type of level of higher education that is not valuable. You have the right in your life to say, you know, if she gets her PhD, maybe she writes a book.
What they're saying, listen.
First of all, most of y'all. Okay, let me give you a tip for the ladies. Y'all, most people, they have a very, very vague idea of what it takes to get a PhD. Y'all, PhDs is not an indicator of wealth. If you're really talking about building wealth, building a legacy, building a family, your PhDs don't mean shit. If I hear PhD, I'm like, oh man. Like anybody in the chat, put some PhDs in the fucking chat that actually helps with wealth building, that it's reasonable that a bitch is gonna have. Like, come on. When I hear PhD, you know what I hear? Debt. That I'm going to have to pay, that if I get married and she divorced with a no fault, that I'm going to be on the hook for. That's what I hear. Debt, debt, debt. Debt, debt, debt. Debt, debt, debt. 2 years for an associate's, 2 years for a bachelor's, 2 years for a master's. And keep in mind, that's assuming you doing the shit the way you're supposed to be doing and you ain't fucking around. Debt, debt, debt. A PhD, and so when I hear, so the fact that I even hear her using the word PhD is problematic to me. You don't need a PhD. If you go into STEM, there you don't need a PhD. PhDs are only really useful to teach. If you talk about going into corporate America and making money, PhDs don't really mean shit. Unless I'm just ignorant and y'all could point out outside of academia, y'all can point out a damn industry where PhDs matter. Maybe I'm just stupid. When I hear PhD, I hear debt. You do better telling me you came out the TJ talk about I came out of the military for 22 years. You tell me shit. I'd rather deal with an assertive female that came out of the military for 10 years. You know why? Guess what? Benefits. She got benefits. Probably better benefits than me. Versus debt. Straight up. Now, you know, I ain't trying to gas up women military because, you know, they can have their stuff too. I ain't even gonna lie. But I'm just talking about for this conversation, come on. And women don't ever think about that. I'm like, and then this is stuff we gonna have to deal with. Because when you're married, that stuff merges. That doesn't demerge. Like, nah, man, you could be a girlfriend. Why you taking 10 years and you ain't married me? Because, bitch, I'm waiting for you to pay that shit off. Or wait until I can trade you in, whichever comes first. I'm going to hell, but whatever. I'm going to hell first class. First class. These chicks be talking about, I got a PhD. I got a PhD. You know what I hear when I hear that shit? This is what I hear.
I will give $100 million to whoever gets me out of here. $100 million!
In debt.
Saying that it's not valuable. You're leaving out two words.
Mhm.
That's the issue. That's where you're not connecting it. You're saying, why are men saying that it's not valuable? You're leaving out two words, very important words.
To me.
Squarespace lets you run your brand like a business with e-commerce.
This how you know niggas tricking with y'all. This how you know niggas are tricking with y'all money. If you all are donating to niggas and then they ain't got YouTube Premium, them niggas are suspect. Me and Bernard, them niggas are suspect. The fuck you doing with this money? You ain't got YouTube Premium, nigga. Wouldn't YouTube be an asshole if YouTube just ran some free ads being like, ask your content creator why the fuck they don't have YouTube Premium?
You're leaving out is to them. Men are saying, if you getting your PhD in psychology is not valuable to them. All right. If you want to get it yourself,
I got a PhD in black female fuckery. They should call me a doctor.
Get it yourself. If you think it'll help you and your kids, get it. Fine. What some men are telling you is,
that'd be a great T-shirt. PhD. I got a PhD in black BFF. What does that mean? It's a conversation starter. Why do you call yourself a doctor? Because I got a PhD in what? Black female fuckery.
that a psychology degree is not valuable to them. Now, if your number one priority is to get a husband, if your number one priority is to have children, should you invest all of those years in getting a PhD in psychology, or should you do something that more aligns with your stated objective? That's all men are saying. Make it line up. Mm-hmm. Don't say that your stated objective is to get a husband and then spend 8 years getting something that will not help you get that husband. Make it aligned. Make it consistent. That's all men are saying. That's all we're saying.
Understood.
Clayton's already kills me with that shit. That's all we're saying.
Yes, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think your point is very valid, Taylor. I'm just going to go back to what it's like. We have some dissonance in terms of what we are taught in Black families versus what Black men actually want. I think this whole
I'm so fucking tired of that bullshit about what you taught. Y'all say that shit like we ain't you say that shit like we ain't living with y'all. We know what the fuck is going on. Y'all say that shit like y'all are white and we don't know, like not even white. Y'all say that like y'all are from Indian, not even in India. Like y'all are Native American, and we don't really know. We know what a reservation is, but we don't really know how like tribal law, like what they can do, like what they can get away with on that reservation. What are their extra rights? We know, but we don't really know. Or like the Nation of Islam, you know, but you don't really know unless you've been in it. Y'all are talking like we have not been raised with you. You know, like I'll give you an example. Soul Provider Speaks is in here. He's Nigerian. I know Yoruba, Igbo. I know like the names. I know a couple of cities, but I can't like have a deep discussion about the dynamics between Igbos and Yorubas and the history of that shit. And you know, I know Nigeria was basically put together by white. You know, I know some little things, but I don't have enough to actually have a fucking conversation to where I can give him an informed opinion about his shit. It's not gonna sound like I'm a fucking idiot. I know where my lane is. I know where my line is. You know, and the thing about it is y'all act like it's like that. Like y'all just telling us some shit that we didn't experience ourselves. Well, we just didn't learn this in families. We know exactly what these females taught y'all. Y'all say it all the time. I'm strong and independent. I don't need no man. And another thing, if you're not going to throw the women under the bus, if you're not going to say that you are miseducated, that you were lied to, I don't want to hear that what you want taught. Y'all make that shit sound, you know what that shit sounds like? That shit sounds like you all went to school for a job, thinking like insurance. Oh, I'm going to go to school for insurance, or I'm going to go to school. This is the hottest jobs out. And then it turns out, well, really, you should have went to school for IT, or you should have went to school for this. This is like where the market is really shining at. So y'all just got the education and like the wrong thing. No, that's not what this is. You all are, I'm going to say this is bad, but I'm going to say it. Dr. Tiasan Johnson, who is a real doctor, actually did a video on this for 2 hours. And y'all, and shout out to him, he just passed 21,000 or 20,000. All of y'all, every single person in the Black manosphere needs to be signed up to all of the academics. And that includes the females that are in this space too, they're academics. But definitely the dudes. Dr. Tiasan Johnson to be first. And really, we need to go start really signing up to Tommy Curry. They should get absolute free promotion in this space, point blank period. But he said, he asked the question, are women taught to be the white supremacist agents in the community? And essentially that is what you're taught. And that is passed down through the matrilineal line, through the women, because the women have access to the children. So when I hear women always default to what I have, Courtney has said that, like, that's like this thing, this like get out of jail free card when I was a bit, that does not move me. It doesn't. That's like me saying, well, you know, I came out of a household where you slapped the bitch when she talked out of turn. So sorry, I didn't mean to bounce that bitch's head off the wall. That's just what I was taught. We would never get away with that. That would never be allowed. That would never be allowed. That would be fucking amputated. That whole thing. And I'd be thrown under the bus. I don't want to hear that. We were taught the bullshit. You were lied to. And y'all need to start saying that. Just like how younger Black men throw old ass niggas under the bus. I want to hear more of that shit. We were taught, we were taught to fail. That's what I want to hear. If I don't hear it in that strong of language, y'all are bullshitting.
For education and making sure that women have something to quote fall back.
Let me rewind it so she can hear it.
Understood.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I think your point is very valid, Taylor. I'm just going to go back to what it's like. We have some dissonance in terms of what we are taught in Black families versus what Black men actually want. I think this whole push for education and making sure that women
keep in mind she has her own channel,
have something to quote fall back on. I think it's been very,
which is quote on, no, that is men cannot be trusted. Black men cannot be trusted. You cannot depend on a man. It's the same thing in a remix. That's what it is. Let's stop acting like that's not what it is. You were taught that Black men were worthless and you should not depend on them. No other race of women are taught that but you. You and your mothers taught you that. End of.
Important. I mean, my dad lost his job. Thank God my mom had him holding him down as a nurse. So
I'm so glad you're saying that. I'm so glad you're saying that the family is teaching us one thing, but the manosphere really is coming in. Yeah. The manosphere.
They're lying to you. And shout out to B. Edward Anderson. Can we make a request for videos for you to review? I have 2 early 1970s Minister Louis Farrakhan videos. I would really love for you to review. Know about Farrakhan. I mean, I like Farrakhan, but I don't know if I really want to really review his stuff. What I might do is what I'll do is certain stuff like that, I might just put it on a Patreon directly. So yeah, if you want to put that in my Discord, it's a thing called Edward Anderson Requests. And I need to go start going on my Discord a lot better. But yeah, and then obviously you can email me at edwardanderson300k@gmail.com. 300k@gmail.com. Shout out, so appreciate that. Black Wealth and Power for the $10 super chat. Shout out to Afro Shop for $5. And depending on how long it is, if you hit me with Cash App, I'll definitely do it. She only wants a PhD. She low-key knows she not getting married. She wants a PhD. And here's the thing about the woman on the right. The thing about the woman on the right, she's not disqualified from marriage. Like she could definitely get a Black man and get married. The problem is, let's go.
And this is so important, guys. Let me shout out to the Blooming Ebony, excellent content creator herself. What is that saying? Listen, the family is teaching us one thing, but the men today in 2021, the manosphere, they are telling you, telling you,
and what happened before is women just went along with the shit. But the shit is off the goddamn chains because women of yesteryear, and when I say yesteryear, I'm just talking about the early 2000s, 20 years ago. These women understood reciprocation. These women, she's talking that talk, but it's still fundamentally about her. It's about her more than it's about her children. Straight up.
Suzette came on last time, and what did she talk about? Man, I had some misconceptions coming up in my family, and now I see things differently. What are you saying? What the Jamaican that came up? Oh, you know, we were taught this, and what we were taught that. The manosphere now.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to hear that with you. That's bullshit. Because y'all, I don't want to hear. Because see, my thing is, I grew up hearing, I'm strong, independent. I don't need no man, and I've been hearing that women are more intelligent than men. That's what I hear in the black community. I don't want to fucking hear we were led astray and we were taught. Not unless you're going to go all the way and say you were lied to. I don't want to hear what you were taught. You were fucking lied to. And see, women won't say that because, again, that requires them to actually throw their parents under the bus. That's why they didn't like Guyana Van Zam.
Telling you the truth. You know, women shit on the manosphere when the manosphere is telling you what the hell the deal is with men right now. They're not echoing the misconceptions that you guys were given when you were younger. They're telling you in real time.
The lies, not misconceptions. These people knowingly lied. Your mother knowingly lied to you. Let's be clear here. Your mother knowingly took the wisdom for your grandmother and rewrote that shit and gave you some bullshit. Knowingly.
This is what's going on, right? So receive it that way. It's going to sound harsh because you're like, well, I didn't grow up this way. This is not the truth that I was taught when I was 6 and 8 and 12. Why are these men that I don't know saying it? Why are they saying this stuff in this way? It doesn't sound so flowery, right? It doesn't sound so nice. Oh, these people in the manosphere are terrible. They're telling you the truth. There's some people in the manosphere that are on some bullshit, all right? That's anyway.
Yeah, there's some simp ass, like, yes, there's some dudes that they got a daddy-daughter complex and they don't trust these niggas either. But education, here's the problem. The problem is not education. The problem is how much of the pie chart it takes. That's the problem. You can be an educated woman, but your social skills matter. First, you know, when you advocate for homeschool, one of the things you hear from black women consistently is, well, my kids won't have social skills. You bitches don't have social skills now, which is why you all can't get married. Y'all are not married because y'all don't want to be. Y'all are not married because y'all know y'all don't have the skills to get the dudes to even begin to compete for the dudes y'all might want. That's what that is. That has nothing to do with education. That has everything to do with you not having social skills in regards to that. That's all that is. That's all that is. And women will use the education to try to invalidate other weaknesses. It's the definition of overcompensating. That's why women lean on their education so much. Because they're overcompensating. We love to point that out with men, but as if women don't do it.
That's anywhere, right? I mean, people like it. People in the black pill, you know. I mean, you can find some crazy people in the manosphere, but in general, not the black pill. Don't look at the black pill stuff. In general, that what people in the manosphere.
Well, the problem with black pill is you got a lot of people. They're 90% of people, 95% of people that say they're black pill are not black pill. They're really in red pill rage. That's what that is. And that red pill rage is like a is red pill rage. It's red pill rage that's basically festered for so long that it's like morphed into a more insidious condition. Most people that are black pill, that are legit black pill, BGS is legit black pill. There's a couple of others are not bad. It's like they're very utilitarian about stuff. It is what it is. But a lot of that doom and gloom black pill shit, that's just people that's been in red pill rage too long.
Men in the manosphere are telling
and a lot of them niggas are people that's in blue pill. Just dark, they're really more blue pill, and then they take to them black pill. They try to we just understand how fucked up. No. What it is you all can't accept it. See, there is no black pill. there is acceptance with the black pill. Black pill without acceptance is red pill rage or just blue pill despair. That's what that is. It's red pill rage or blue pill despair. That's what that is. That's all that is.
Is how we feel, not the way you want us to feel, and not the way that you were taught that we should feel. We're telling you in real time how we feel.
Yeah.
And
really, it's shocking to a lot of people, though. I'm telling you, it's shocking to women.
Agreed.
It's shocking when if people hear, like, again, those of us who have not been living, breathing, consuming manosphere stuff, when you first hear it, you're like, what?
Like the reality is that tells you how fucked up the black community is. That's some shit that what I get out of that, David Carroll is right, saying like most of you niggas are dumb and being a black woman is a mental illness. Because the reality of it is the stuff that we say, that shit makes a lot more sense to other races. Latin women are in the same community, in the same country. So is white women. This shit is not that far out there. This shit is only really, really far. Now, obviously, this shit, it seems to only be really far out there to black women. And this is how you know you grew up in a gynocracy. That's what it is. So when she's saying that, she's like, what are you actually disagreeing with? And if you notice, these women cannot really articulate it, or if they do, it just becomes emotional bullshit, like what I did on the last video. It becomes that. Like, I gotta this outrage shit. Okay, let's actually have an academic back and forth as to, meaning minus the emotion, as to why you think the way you think. And you find that shit ain't based on jack shit.
You find it to be chauvinistic. You may find it to be just something contrary to everything like you've ever known. So
most of y'all don't even know what real chauvinism is, because most of y'all ain't been nowhere. Like, for you to talk about chauvinism in the Western world is laughable. You don't really know what that shit actually is. Because if it was really chauvinistic, you wouldn't be fucking talking in the first place. Y'all, most black women have never really experienced real chauvinism. Not from black men.
Me, I have people now that tell me easily, Sue, if you were a teacher, you'd be married already.
I discovered the 8 immortal kings of Samaria lived a total of 241.
Exactly.
Shout out to Black Weapon Power. How do I find your Discord? What is your email again? Sure, she could be married. It depends on what type of dude she looking for. If she looking for a ready-made nigga that's making 100, 150, 200,000, I don't know, because that's a different market.
I'm married a PhD. It has never conflicted the fact that my home is traditional, not modern. The issue is when they think the PhD will make them better than the man. And so I think this is kind of important to kind of spin it a little bit. It's not that the PhD, it's not that we're saying like, if you get a PhD, we can't marry you. Right? What we're saying is we don't see it as a value necessarily to what we are trying to do. And so if you spend 8 years going down this road, and once you get this piece of paper, and you're like, I got the PhD. Where are all the men now that I've got the PhD?
They're not on that.
Exactly.
Ball it up and put it on your face.
Exactly.
Well, let's just come at this with logic. And see, this is how you know these women were lied to. And that's why I say they were lied to. Don't talk about you were taught different, because the shit that you were taught never had any value. What they told you, there is no value that can be applied except to make corporations more money at the expense of yourself and your family, and basically for you to be hyper consumers. That's it. So that shit never had any value, what you were told. Point blank. And then the only reason you're here is because you don't have the outcomes that you think you deserve. And you don't know why. Because the motherfuckers that taught you that shit, they not telling you shit. Because they know what they were doing. Whether that's in your household, or whether that's in academia, or whether that's in these corporations. Shout out to CJ Banks for the super sticker. Yeah, I have a little talk before I leave.
Right. So that's all the men are saying. So,
and then as far as the PhD, that's what I was gonna say. Since y'all people want to be sensitive, let's start at basically you're not universally accepted to be open season on the sexual marketplace until you're 21 years old. Now, when you're 18, if you go to college, you're 18 and you get a PhD, chances are you're not going to have that at early. The earliest you're going to have that PhD is 25. Usually you get it 27, 28. Now you want to start to pursue a husband. That means, again, this is why you got women talking about you shouldn't even look for a man to get married to until you're 30. This is where we hear that shit from.
I'm glad that we were able to clear that up, Gorgeous, because I think that you, but not only you, hundreds of thousands of women are operating under this idea. Or like, why? No, why is Kevin Samuels saying this? Why are the people in the Red Pill community, the people in the manosphere saying this? Go get it if you want it. Just realize the value that we ascribe to it. All right, that's all we're saying. And there are opportunity costs when you go to get it. Right. When you spend 8 years in school in that liberal institution, the institution where they're going to tell you use all these different pronouns and this and that, you know, they might tell you how to think about men, and you might come out of those 8 years not feeling so great about men, and you got your PhD. Where are you going to be when it's time to have that strong male father figure / husband, father figure to your children and to his children as well, and the husband? Where is it going to be? You can look up, and now you're crossing shit off your goddamn list, right? And what Kevin Samuels is saying, keep your stuff on the list. Keep it on the list. Just, start a little bit early. You don't have to cross some stuff out. If you had not spent 8 years getting your PhD in psychology, you wouldn't have to cross all this stuff out. Right? You see where I'm coming from, Gorgeous?
I do. And I completely understand.
You don't have to answer the question. Anyway, that one was funny with that nigga. Don't rush women. Anyway, let's see. We got 2 ladies on. I hope we got that delay thing taken care of, because I definitely want to hear what you all have to say. So what are your thoughts?
Oh, I was gonna let her go first because I saw her first.
Well, real quick, I love watching you because you go hard in the paint, young man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, which is great.
Okay. Yeah, you go hard in the paint. I will say, and I only use myself as an example, me growing up under a single mother, as well as me raising my daughter primarily as a single parent, and I've been in the military. I have to disagree that mothers intentionally misled us. I have to disagree with that. I have to disagree with it because I didn't intentionally mislead my daughter. And as a matter of fact, me and my daughter did a show, and I said it's a tough pill to swallow, to know, thinking that you were doing your best to provide and guide and show her, but I was teaching her wrong. And I actually was crying because, again, I said any mother, but any parent, period, but any mother who wants their daughters to be married, that wants their daughters to have a family, would never knowingly set them up for failure. And to come to the realization that was very hard for me. And it was even hard for me to talk to my mom about it, because she said I didn't know. So I really think, I think it was that way. In some cases, maybe, yeah, I'm not saying denying that they said, forget a man. I think in many cases, we were taught to be able to take care of ourselves if we didn't get one. Not that we didn't need one, but to be able to take care of ourselves if we didn't get one. Because, again, many mothers, my mother included, was not able to rely on my dad. So again, not wanting better for their daughters, not knowing that they were teaching us to exclude our men. I don't think they intentionally did that. I know I didn't, but it doesn't mean I didn't do it.
So when I say mothers, I'm talking about the body, with basically the black, we have different sectors, obviously, and I'm talking about the black body of motherhood. So I'll give you a perfect example. Yeah, Ayanna Van Zam is older, right? She's been around in a lot of this stuff. She's recently been talking about, why she left her show. She was getting death threats. She was getting, it just was something that just wasn't fun with her anymore. And it wasn't being received the way she wanted to help that she was trying to do. People, and then there's videos about that. But what people don't say about Iyanla Vanzant is that Iyanla Vanzant was one of the people that gave, probably one of the most credible people that tried to completely dismantle Shahrazad Ali when she was basically trying to.
Yes, absolutely.
She was pretty much the main, and so when people say they don't know, yes, I can believe that there's individuals that did not honestly know. But the thing is, women operate as a social group more than men do. And see, the problem is there's a lot of women that did know, and they purposely withheld information and kept that out of the, let's just call it the zeitgeist of Black womanhood. And I'm talking about Black women. We're not even going to get into the white women. We're just talking about Black women. They did this on purpose in order to create this certain result. There's a video that I've done, or statement I've done, called The Rise of the Tokyo Tony Grandmothers. And as you start to see women be phased out, like Shahrazad Ali, even Iyanla Vanzant at her age, even women that can be problematic but still have some common sense, like Monique, with the bonnet thing, or I like to use Judge Hatchett as like an example. You have these women that are these new generation of women that are teaching these women, their daughters, 304 culture. Now, see, they're going to start to play the I didn't know game too 20 years from now when because these Z's aren't even talking. These Z's are just bouncing. So when we start dealing with the Z's and the alpha and I become the old ass nigga, right? That's gonna be the next generation of who didn't know. Now I know there's some people that honestly did not know, but overall, I think what it is there's like doors that people choose to not open, and it's like they choose to not. They know it's kind of not absolutely correct, and so they choose to kind of get that plausible kind of deniability thing going, and again, it can't be every female did not know or did not understand that men, like, there's no men here. There's no authority here. This just does not work. Everybody's now in there. It's like what white people say with these mass shooters. They're all isolated incidents. So yeah, I can believe certain people they didn't know. I can believe certain, and then you got to understand, TJ comes out of the military. So it's a different kind of thing because she's in the military. But a lot of these women that are surrounded by other women and shit like that, no. You just had I got you, Kareem. You just had BGS and Ron Wills going off over that damn Insecure, get triggered over that Insecure TV show. And you look at that episode 5 with Lawrence and Condola. There's actually an article right now where Condola, the actress that plays Condola, talking about it's misogyny as to why there's a backlash to that episode. And so, people want to say they didn't know. Some people, I'll say this, out of like 2 out of 10 is telling the truth. 8 out of 10 of y'all are lying. But what's up, Kareem?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where I cue you with that. Yeah.
I know. Listen. I want to piggyback on the previous female. I do enjoy your show. I love your passion. I just want you to understand from a Caribbean or from an immigrant experience. Now, let me just say, Suzette is an immigrant, so I don't think she's lying. I also think, though, it's not, she's not lying, but she wants someone on her level. And I'm sure she was proposed to, or I'm sure she met nice guys that could have married her, and she could have been married if she wanted to. But she's a lawyer, and she's probably looking for a lawyer. And maybe because of her age, like you said, because I think someone said she's a little bit overweight. I don't think she looks fine to me, but some people say she's overweight. Maybe she doesn't qualify for the type of guy she wants, but she's not lying when she says that Caribbean parents push that you go to school, that you learn to take care of yourself. Because I was taught that, and it wasn't intentional to mess you up. It's just survival. They come to this country, they, you know, if they came as a couple, they work hard and they just want their children to have a good life. So they tell them, listen, work hard, go to school, get a good job, and in hopes they want you to find a husband and get married, but they also want you to be able to take care of yourself. So it's not a thing of, down black men or talk bad about black men or put black men down. They just want you to be able to take care of yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. No, I'm gonna let you finish. But I didn't know she was Caribbean. But I'm not
Yes,
speaking.
she is. She's
But I'm not
Caribbean.
talking about her personally as a liar. When I went on that tangent, I'm talking about the archetype. Now, as far as her being Caribbean, everything I'm saying is always within the context of ADOS.
Right.
Because immigrant situations are different situations, because those are different dynamics. Because when you're in another country, or even if you are in the United States, like it's a different dynamic.
Right.
So I'm not speaking, and I could talk on that, but I'm not talking on that. Because, like, let's say I'm an ADOS man and I'm trying to date a Caribbean woman that would be like that. You know, those are different dynamics. Those are
Right.
different dynamics. They just are.
The other female is a black is ADOS. The other one with the braids, she was ADOS. But Suzette, the female in the yellow, she's Jamaican. She told Lee that, you know, she's Jamaican, and, you know, her experience was different because she was told to go to school. She's very religious as well. She's in the church. She has she's probably had very conservative parents, so she probably couldn't date. Like, you know, certain conservative parents don't have you can't date at a certain age. It's kind of like a I wouldn't say it's similar to the Nation of Islam. I wouldn't say it like that, but I would say that they don't want you to be dating. They want you to go to school, finish school, and then, you know, when you get your career, then you get married. That's what they want you to do. That's the trajectory that they want you to have. So for her, when she's finished school and got her lawyer and she's looking out these to find a nice man, and most men probably don't want to date her because they figure she's too so, you know, she's probably stuck up, and she's a little bit overweight. I don't want to say anything bad about her weight. She's a beautiful girl, but people are saying she's a little bit overweight, and that's an issue too. You know, that's an issue.
The thing about island folks, no matter what like sector they're coming out of, though, even though they are more matriarchal than Africans or Afro-Latins, they are still not gynocratic like they are here. Because the difference between y'all that come from them islands and us here is y'all ain't got no white man to go to on them islands. Now, and so when you come over here, you all are dealing with the residual. Even if you're in the United States where that changes, you're still dealing with the residual kind of socialization, at least, you know, immigrant first generation, maybe second generation, maybe I'll say just first generation with that. So it's not exactly the same.
Right.
And then it's not. So and like I said before with TJ coming out of the military, that's a little bit different because you're kind of in like the once you go in the middle, because I got family members in the middle, and I've been on, you know, bases, Fort Bragg, you know, Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. I've been to Camp Pendleton. You know, it's kind of like being on an Indian reservation. It's like it's a thing within a thing. So those are certain exceptions. But when I'm talking about people that were deep in the gynocracy and stuff, they were taught us, like I said, Dr. T. Hassan Johnson is a doctor and he studies this type of stuff. And he talked about, I'll pull it up. I'm not going to play it, but I'll pull it up so you know it's there.
You know, I watch it. I know I listen, I understand. I listen to you, so I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just want to give you that small detail before you go on. And I just want to thank her for her service. And I'm going to get off of your panel and y'all could do your have your discussion. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And like I said, and this is why I talk about intercultural dating, because again, this is not about saying don't date African-American women, they're not dateable. This is about, as a man, your power is in your power to self-improve yourself and in your power of choices. There's a lot of black people, black men, that they need a melanated woman. That's non-negotiable. That's fine. That's why I talk about intercultural dating, so you can augment your choices. That's all. Because if you only have certain choices, that is what it is. But going back to this, I hear this from a lot of folks. Like, you know, like Courtney on the Lapeef Network ain't Caribbean. And she'll go back to, I wasn't taught. I wasn't taught. Or like that's something that a lot of women will retreat to. And we can discern which ones are kind of saying that and which ones are kind of playing. Because if you say you weren't taught in the part of having a conversation about what you weren't taught, it's going to become apparent real quick if you're playing or not, because we can discern, okay, well, you come from this culture that they operate in this way, and then we're like, fine, that's fine, but that's not what we're really talking about. This is why we always talk about the ADO stuff, because it's not that we're trying to exclude people, it's just we're trying to say this is the particular dysfunction we're talking about. So all the other exceptions aren't really what we're talking about in that way. But anyway, go ahead, TJ. I mean, y'all keep in mind in the back chat, I'm gonna bring a couple of people up at a time.
Okay, I apologize for being disconnected. You know, interestingly enough, and you mentioned Courtney, and I speak to Courtney quite often, and it's true because, again, both of us were raised in, you know, for primarily single parent home. And so, and it's interesting, my grandfather, and I've said it before, my grandfather was born in 1910, and I primarily grew up, you know, under my grandfather, and he too said, you know, don't worry about getting married right away. Go to school, get your degree, you know, focus on this. So again, I think I have to say it was ignorance, because they thought that they were advising us right. They did. And again, my grandfather born in 1910, and he honestly said, you know, don't think about getting married right now. Focus on getting your what they call your school and your learning. So I think it was definitely a disconnect. And again, I remember, I think there was a caller on Kevin Samuels, and he asked the woman if she was preparing her daughter to be a wife, and the first thing she said, yes, she's on the honor roll. And it wasn't until actually hearing it, I'm like, shoot, I used to say stuff like that that has absolutely nothing to do with being a wife. It had being a good person, being, you know, a dedicated and disciplined person, but it had absolutely nothing to do with being a wife. So again, it's definitely, and again, I am a Generation Xer. And again, having talked with my mom, who's a baby boomer, and we come to the, you know, we had to have that talk about, you know, we were wrong. And here's another thing, you talk about Iyanla Vanzant, you're absolutely right. I remember seeing when she was basically going after Shahrazad Ali. I think it was in the late 80s, early 90s, but she even had to come around in a way and say, I messed up. I didn't get it. I was completely wrong. So again, you have learned women like her who thought the same way many of us did, not realizing we were thinking wrong.
I'm gonna ask you one last question. Well, not, you know, as far as on this, why is it that there's such a big discrepancy in black males being educated versus black females? Why is it completely reversed from every other group, including other diaspora groups in the United States?
I can only tell you what I think based on my own family, and families that I knew. Men were taught to go to work, and women were taught to go to school. That's exactly what it was. You know, women, you know, and I think about the men in my family. Men were taught to go to work, and women were taught to go to school. So
now,
I mean,
well, I'm just saying this is a culmination of the next generation of black boys, and I'm not being. It's gonna sound like I'm being funny. It's not, but these motherfuckers can't read and write.
They can't.
That's how
You're
bad.
right.
That's how bad it is. And then when I hear, this is why people may think I'm being an asshole when I say this, but when I get dudes up here and I say certain things, he's like, "Nigga, I got daughters." Like, the first thing I want to say is, nigga, fuck your daughters. Because the truth is, your daughters are not going to be protected because you have this overprotection. And I'm talking about dudes that don't got daughters. They create laws to overprotect females. And the reality, the best protection they're going to have is a man that's going to be dedicated to them.
is a husband.
Yeah, but and so it's kind of like
And
and this
again,
go ahead.
No, it's just a shameless plug. But again, that's another reason that I do what I do to help young women as well as old ones like myself, say, hey, learn from the things that I did wrong. And, my daughter, I'm grateful that she decided to do something different than what I showed her. But, it is far reaching, and you're absolutely right. You're absolutely
And now you see why
right.
we call this a gynocratic algorithm. Why we say it's the gynocracy. Because that's what all of this is. It's everybody can't, I just didn't know. And it ain't just the women, it's dudes that actively did it too. Yeah, it can't be everybody just did not know. And then it's like the results, because a lot of the Monahan report has been out there. See, where black men fucked up, and I'm gonna bring the rest of y'all up in a second. Where black men messed up is black men chose to go along with it. Black men, see, the problem in the black community, and this is true in America in general, so I will give that, but this is really true in the black community, is women are considered the moral superiors. And part of what black men have done is they have basically ceded their righteousness, their honor, their logic, because of, well, Big Mama is the moral superior. So men went along with the stuff. Men allowed themselves to be led by
their position.
Assuming, and assuming they were real passive, and so they didn't. So, and even today, it's not different, because the truth is, in order to really change this shit, you're gonna have to crack some eggs. You're gonna have to do some stuff that the women are going to diametrically fight you on. And you're gonna have to when I say brute force, I'm not talking about physical violence. I'm talking about through things like political action and stuff like that. I'm talking about things like removing your support from certain things. That's what I mean. I want to be very clear about that, because I'm not going to jail for nobody. I'm dating out before I'm going to jail. So I want to be clear about that. Or I'm dating intercultural before I go to jail. So just FYI. So I want to be clear. But what I'm talking about is political action, removing money from certain things, removing support from certain things. And the women are not going to give you permission to do that. Men are looking for women to give their okay to do certain things. That's not, and you see it even in this space, where a lot of times we got to put a woman up to say certain things in order for some of the dudes in this space to readily accept it, because they just think we capping. No matter how much evidence you show, if you married, if you show you get females, it don't matter. And even in this space, it's like that. So that's where the men messed up. And that's and it's up to the men if they're going to change that or not. But ultimately, stuff doesn't get this bad with I didn't know, because other women were taught to get their education. That's not something that was unique to black women, but they were also taught the other things. They were taught you need to be married. Latin women do this. White women do this. Asian women are the worst about it. If you're north of 25, you're not married. The elders, women in your family, when you get married, that's why cuffing season come from. I need to show up with somebody, because I don't want them asking me about when I'm getting married or why I don't have a kid yet. That was removed from that. It exists a little bit in the black community, but for the most part, that was removed because that's considered shaming. So anyway, go ahead, Freeman's Journal. I'm about to bring the rest of y'all up. Q, you got custom. You got like two people up, two up. I don't know if which one is you. Can you speak real quick so I know which one to remove?
So, yeah, on this whole thing, TJ, I think you are a woman of good conscience, and I don't think that.
Yeah, TJ's not up here right now, but she'll be coming back.
But I think she is a woman of good conscience. She didn't know any better. But at this point in the space, how do you not know? Right? How do you not know at this point? And you brought up a good point, Ed. Black men can't read. And who is the one putting the screw? I mean, black women are turning the gears that are crushing black men in education. Yeah, I brought that up before. That whole dads on duty little thing last week. Who do you think the principal is?
I mean, is it a black woman or are people saying that?
Man, what do you think, man? You think I didn't look
I
it
mean,
up?
I
It's
mean,
a black woman.
No,
and
I could guess. I could be pretty sure it was too. But you know, we always like to. Okay, so it is. Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, two of the 4 assistant principals are black women, right? Daggone, the Detroit 300. That thing that's back in vogue, and I mean, not to say that is not a good thing. I mean, but I've seen that come and go a dozen times. This is the second iteration, so things get bad. You know, black men show some anger and then walk away. Not that they. It's like the problem. It's like trying to cut down a tree by plucking off the leaves. The root is right there. But you know who's thrown themselves up against the root of the problem? It's black women. Because you know how many black women are on the Detroit school board? All of them. All of them. So the white black boys can't read it because black women are turning the gears. It's sorry to say, but that's just the truth. They are overrepresented.
No, go ahead.
You know, it's just the truth. They're overrepresented in public education, and they're all up in, it. I mean, it doesn't matter. You go to a large city with the urban population, you're going to find a ton of black women turning the educational gears. I mean, how do you have black men with a high school diploma and like a 6th grade reading level? That doesn't happen on accident. They know what's happening.
and I know how that stuff goes down. It's when you passing these kids because you want to get funding. It's really fraud. And I'm glad. And I'm gonna say this real quick. Shout out to TJ who came on. I want to say this and be very clear. At the end of the day, you're accountable to your own kid. So if your kid turned out great, then you either you lucked out or you did a good enough job where they put the rest of the pieces together. Just like April Mason, she talks about how her daughter, she didn't talk to her daughter for like a year because her daughter got pregnant. Like she talked about not being a single mother because I guess she went through certain things like that, and her daughter got pregnant. She didn't talk to Adriana, and she didn't talk to her daughter for like a year. This story she's told, and Adriana basically bought her first house at 23 years old. This is something she talked about because she's kind of in that kind of Erica Williams kind of sector, not at her level at all, but like in that kind of credit stuff like that kind of stuff. And she's married. Got a stepdad, dude, whatever, they're good. And then her son is in the military. No kid, so you're at the end of the day, as parents, you all are accountable to your kids. So if y'all individual kids are good, then y'all do what y'all need to do. So this is not about beating people up. But what I will also say is, people got to stop trying to provide. People got to stop providing cover for other folks, assuming just because it was you, it was them. We know most women are not in the military. So most people don't have these, we know most black women are immigrants. We remember, we grow up with y'all. We know what time it is. It's a lot of things we don't say in the manosphere. Like it really is. We say we really don't go past 55% of what we could say. There's a lot of things that we hold back. And you kind of get a little bit of a clue on that with David Carroll, maybe a little bit with Jap, but there's a lot of stuff we don't say. And if you've been in this space long enough, like listening to Jason Black and stuff long enough, you'll see some of that stuff alluded to. Anyway, shout out to Ray June for the $5 Cash App. Appreciate that. Appreciate Aisha for the $5 Cash App. The next person I'm gonna get in is Jackie O. And then we're going to start kind of rotating this so we can get this conversation really popping because I want to get everybody to get, say something and then we open it up. Maybe I ask a question or two. And yeah, so what's up, Jackie? What did you think about what I said? What did you think about the video he posted?
Hey, I really just came up to talk about as far as what TJ was talking about earlier about moms not knowing. And they're just teaching their daughters the same way they always teach their daughters because they don't know a better way. no offense, but I think the moms know, and they're just in denial. And I say that because as a young girl, I would see how dysfunctional my mom was, and I knew something was off. Like I just knew something wasn't right. So I would put it in my head, like, I can't be like that. I can't be like that. And I think every son and daughter, when they have a mom that's not doing it the right way, they know deep down she's not doing it the right way.
Yeah.
But they still take all that stuff that happened to them and they just pass it on. But you know deep down that something's not right. And you get reminded of it over and over again. And I think it's like you say, it's the mama thing. You just can't say that your mom is not doing a good job because she's the only one that's there. It's hard for you to say, I was raised by a person that's not doing a good job, because there's no other person to balance that out, because she's the only one that's there. So they just have a hard time with just seeing how flawed their mom is, that they will take on the things that she does and keep it going.
Yeah. I mean, the thing, look, let's be clear here. All my brothers got different dads. And I had a stepdad 10 years of my life as far as growing up. But the difference is, the problem is what black people lack is ability to really take inventory of things. These are the things that were done right. These are the things that were done wrong. And in the inability of doing that, the inability of having breathing room of doing that in a family is really, I'm talking about extended family as well, by the way, is pretty much what allows a lot of these generational curses to happen. Some women are good at very few women actually break these curses if they're really significant. And so, and I could give examples of things like there's decisions my mom made that led me to be in foster care. That was 100% her fault. I'm talking about the argument she had with her husband, AKA my stepfather, not no argument she had with me. And then no, it was completely her. Then I was in there a year. Like me and my brothers were in there a year. But also moving to North Carolina was probably the best decision that was made as far as the outcomes for me, but probably for my brothers. And that was a decision she made, So a lot of people, it's like they can't look at both sides and appreciate what was done and then not repeat it. Very few black people have that kind of insight, or even if they do, they fall victim to repeating what you see. Because if you're not deprogrammed from that, that's what's going to happen. Here's the thing. I'm not interested in shaming and making women feel bad for what's already happened. I'm interested in people saying, okay, how are we going to move forward? But we can't move forward if people are not honest about stuff. And I'm not saying TJ's not being honest for her own situation, but I'm talking about everybody ain't got no exception. Most of these women are lying. And most of these dudes are lying too, because a lot of these dudes in these marriages are fucking submissive ass husbands. And we ain't gonna talk about that shit, because that's how a lot of that shit happens. Like, and this is another thing too. A husband may want a woman to be educated, a father, but they want their daughter to be married too. This idea that that fathers are basically steering these women into like away from a man is not as true as people say it. They may want you to get your education, but they also want you to usually find a dude while you getting educated. With dudes, they're very selective in who you pick, and usually there's a conflict as to what a woman wants for herself versus a man wants for her for his daughter. But men are not steering these women into being single. Like not like that. And there's enough single dads out there to kind of show that that's not happening. But it is what it is. I'm not the most qualified to really speak on that. That's some stuff that I'd rather Black Huru and BGS speak on, because they're older, so they can kind of speak to other generations in a way I can't. you know, and TJ's older, you know, older than me. So there's certain things she can see that I can't, which is why I prefer BGS and Black Hoover. I know Freeman, you know, I ain't trying to say you up there, but you know what I'm saying? People that can speak from that timeline. But anyway, go ahead, Jackie.
No, I mean, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So you think that men are not, well, I wouldn't say men in general, Black men are not steering their daughters to be single, because sometimes I think that they're on the same side as the mom. Sometimes it's just,
can I hop in?
It's just the way. Oh yeah, go ahead, because
what they're doing is they're acquiescing. They're being submissive. That's what you're seeing.
Okay.
You know, yeah. But when you're dealing with like patriarchal fathers, like they don't, like, as BGS, as Black Huru, who has all daughters, and I know dudes that got 5 daughters. You know, like that's what you're seeing. So when that happens, they going along with what the females say because they trying to keep the peace. But go ahead, Freeman.
No, I was gonna say that the gynocracy includes men, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you saw KS when he said open it up. He said, "Hey, if you disagree," he had no shortage of men calling in like dating out. Oh my God, just act like it was inconceivable. The first guy was like, "Well, how do you approach a woman that isn't Black?" Like, come on, dude.
Man,
so plenty of dudes in the gynocracy. You know, plenty of dudes in the gynocracy. So, and you don't have to have all daughters.
Dead ass serious too.
Yeah,
he was dead ass serious. I'm like, nigga, what? I don't even hear no Africans asking that shit.
Like, say hello.
They may not have seen a white female in real life. Shit. Anyway, go ahead.
Can I say something real fast?
Yeah, jump in so we can be free for all this.
Ed, I'm a big fan, and one of the main things you said that I liked in the show was that women do not, especially Black women, don't cultivate relationships with their peers when they pursue these advanced degrees. And that's pretty much your main problem if, we as families send our women to college and then they get there and haven't developed, relationship with their peers. I've taken classes with Black women that didn't even know the names of their male classmates. That's a problem. So Black men can't continue to support people that don't care about them. Black women make excellent friends, but our culture isn't built for companionship right now.
Yeah, and that's important. Let me tell you what. First of all, and I want people to understand something. When I say stuff on sisters, it's really for the attention for them to win. That's really what that is. Because if I stop giving a fuck, I'm just gonna stop talking about it, like straight up, because it is gonna be what it's gonna be. But why what you're saying is important is because a woman's power. When I say power, I mean in quality of life, is gonna be the networks that they coalesce. Whether it's women, whether it's men, let's keep it real. Men build structure. Men build sustainable things, whether it's careers, whether it's dudes building their own stuff, and women are able to deal in the social environment of what dudes. This is why when you deal with dudes, like if you deal with dudes that are like-minded, I'm not even talking about deal with them as in having sex with them. I'm talking about if you look at any industry, like think about it. Think about Hollywood. Like right now, you look at a lot of these women that get these roles, dudes, and then you got dudes like Ice Cube. You got dudes like Childish Gambino, who's coming up. He just got that like $200 million from I think Amazon Prime. And then what did he do? He did this. He's doing a new season of Atlanta. What's that light skinned chick? This is girlfriend, and then she was playing domino. Like it's in these network. I'm not saying women don't build shit because you got Shonda. Exactly. So you got Shonda Rhimes in the mix of the dude. So I'm not saying this can't work in reverse, but what I'm saying is typically when you look at a plurality of industries, and this is what Sheryl Sandberg was talking about. She was saying women benefit from engaging in things that men build. They build on the foundation that men lay because it's very difficult for them to do it on their own. It is. And that's why Sheryl Sandberg was like, you need these relationships when it comes to women having these paths to be in promotion, which is why she said there needs to be a correction when it comes to this Me Too, and it can't go too crazy because what's going to happen is men are going to adjust that to protect themselves. And men have no problem creating a sterile environment when it comes to the workplace. And that does not benefit women ultimately. It doesn't. So my point in saying that is women plug in the social networks. And when you teach women to only deal with social networks amongst other women, you like, it's funny. The Benny Gesserit in Dune, this is a matriarchal kind of, think of them as like matriarchal Jedi. For anybody that's seen Dune, they were trying to create this thing called a Kwisatz Haderach. And I'm not like I'm a Dune expert. I'm not. Okay, but I know enough about it. The Kwisatz Haderach, these women believe in genetically, basically interbreeding these houses, aka these families, to create a perfect being. That being has to be a male in their minds, and these are matriarchs, meaning only women are taught these abilities. But there's one thing they can't do. They are able to see memories of people that came before them, as far as like their mothers and their ancestors, but they can only see it from the matrilineal line. They can't see it from the paternal line. And so they need the man in order to see it from both lines. So he'll be able to be everywhere because he can see the past, present, and future, right? From everybody, as far as, his whole line. And my point in saying that is not to say that men are better. It is to say that, actually, I lost my train of thought. Then y'all gonna think, no, nigga, you really meant to say men are better. No, the point is that women benefit. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. That when you deny that structure that women are able to use their social abilities to basically piggyback off of, you are literally like really removing, like, it's like removing fucking stairs. It's like saying that, okay, here's this ladder, and then here's like a really fast escalator that you can run up the stairs with, because that's what an escalator is. And every other race has that, but you got to climb a ladder. And then his ladder goes up like 15 stories versus the escalator that does the same thing. That's literally what you're doing. And so women suffer. Even if you take black men off the table, let's say fuck black men for a second. Fuck black men. Let's say we're only talking about divestors and swirlers. Because you don't have these skills are not honed, you actually don't even have the ability to import other men to the needs that you want if black men are not fulfilling them, because these skills you don't have. These other women have these skills. Perfect example of what black men and black women are taught. Black men are not taught to network in school. White people are taught, you go to school not only for a degree, but to forge relationships that will benefit you in career. And I know this is why white people are very big in doing internships. They're very big in going to like these trips, that allow them to kind of forge relationships, because that stuff pays dividends for them. And Jason Black did a video. He talked about an article. He said the biggest keys to wealth is these networks you can plug into. That's why when you talk to white people, they talk about network. I gotta, kiss the right rings, shake the right hands, network. That's what the dudes think. I gotta get into the networks. Black people don't think about that because we just think it's about getting education. And so again, what happened is people can say they were mistaught, but what it was is they were miseducated because a lot of these black women bought into this white feminist agenda. It's a control grab. And this is this is another thing. This is why, look, I'm not gonna bring up the age of consent shit, but this is why they always, like, you notice how black women always push to get married later, because the later you get married, the more in tune with yourself you're gonna be. You're not really moldable. The older you are, the less moldable you are. That just is what that is. And this is why grooming is a bad word in the black community. Because we see grooming as a method of control. It doesn't matter if you start at 18 years old or 21 years old. They don't want you doing that because they want to maintain that control. So these things were insidiously embedded. And so certain women, there's different understanding as to how much they know. But the thing is, they're still carrying the same operating systems And then these are creating intended outcomes. Understand something. Somewhere along the way, people knowingly taught you this shit to knowingly get you to do this shit. And see, unfortunately, you got a lot of women. See, Jackie is still relatively young. But once you get like once you get like 37 talking about I didn't fucking know, I mean,
like Courtney,
like the fuck I'm supposed to do with that? Like what am I supposed to do with that? Like I'm supposed to sit there and wait for you to learn? Like what what am I really what do you expect dudes that have their own agenda they need to push to do with that? I didn't know. And that's like me saying as a man, I didn't know I was supposed to provide and protect. But I still want some pussy though. Anyway, so we've had everybody jump on. What's up, Art?
What's going on, fam?
Nothing much. I see I'm not on the ratchet shit today. So for once he showed up on my stuff. He said this is maybe something I could jump into the double dutch with. Yeah, so I'm curious as to what you're an educator. So I'm curious as to what you think about this. I wasn't taught. I don't know, because you deal with these young motherfuckers that can't read and write. I mean, for real.
Yeah, man. You say it because passion. These niggas can't read and write.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the whole dynamic of a lot of the young fellas.
Zero. This nigga working COVID. Go ahead.
Yeah, these young fellas, they still looking for the mommying thing. I had a boy that was kind of like trying to buck up against my rules, and he ran to his female counselor, and she was babying him, and I was like, wow. So I'm looking at the whole thing also, that you still have a lot of women that are more hungry than the guys. For power. I think
and that's on purpose. That's where that coddling, like that. I didn't know. Like another thing too, and I didn't know that coddling my sons will fuck them up. But y'all still doing it,
right? And he's weaponized against male authority. Now if it gets bad, just come back to mama. I'll take care of it. That kind of thing. And I'm sitting there like, I had to be professional. I wanted to tell Hope Chick, like, why you keep trying to keep these boys, turn these boys into, little sissy men, as China would say. Is that how you do your job? See, that's the thing too. We talked about this on my panels.
Makes them more controllable. And another thing is saying that you didn't know. That's what they said in Nazi Germany. I didn't know.
It was I was following orders.
You still doing this shit, but you don't know.
I was following orders. That's what it was. I was following
we
orders.
talked.
Go ahead.
And I'm sitting there like, there's all, you already know that I'm trying to get into administration. And for some reason, the ones that are chosen are black women over black men as far as administration. I think somebody mentioned that earlier on this panel. Yeah. And it's so crazy is that when they do become administrators, especially where I'm at, for the most part, they're going to be working with black children and all that. But for the most part, they just want black boys to have matching T-shirts, go to field trips. But there's not too many leadership programs that are championed by black women, unless they're probably like on their way out to retire, like maybe 60 plus. But if they're younger, they're just gonna keep these boys adorable and cute. And I'm like, man, you don't understand the direction where we're going with this.
Yeah, and the thing is, they did, and the thing is, they this is why they target the women, because they know y'all gonna do that shit on autopilot. Because women don't challenge shit. Women, for the most part, don't question shit unless that shit directly affects them. Women don't think long term. They don't. That's not in their nature. It's they nest. They don't. And then the problem with the men is the fucking men go along with the shit. Because black men, this is why I keep talk about what does it take for a black woman to not be forgiven. You got black women to get fucking killed kids, and you still got some nigga talk about she a good mom. Niggas saying that. So what the fuck can I say about the females when you niggas are doing this? Kevin does this. Kevin had the you matter, because them niggas are like, and once then again. And this is why I say at the end of the day, I'm not saying that you niggas got to be like super niggas, but you niggas got to start being assertive and saying what it's going to be. Y'all can't even be clear in communication because you all want a woman's permission to do shit. And it ain't all niggas that come up out of single mother households. It's a very, very widespread. And so when people say they didn't know or they weren't taught, again, and you know, like I'm young, so it's like that stuff can be pulled on me. You know, BG, if we bring some of the heavy hitters on here, like Ron Wills, BGS Igmore, that conversation is not gonna fly, which is why I keep telling BGS he needs to bring back BGS for women. Because that stuff is not gonna fly, because he can bring up the 100-year, like the books, the Fraser, all of that, showing that this has all been here since 1910. It's all been here. And you got to realize too that if you're talking about like back, and if you talk about pre-1960, going to college doesn't meant completely different than what it means now. So that's a little bit of a different context. But the truth is, every other community understood. Every other community, the boys work too. But when it comes to giving the opportunity for these boys to go into a profession that is like a doctor, lawyer, or whatever, that is going to make more money, it is the boys that go first. Why? Because they're the ones that build the structure. And BGS keeps saying it. Y'all keep sending these women to do all this bullshit, but y'all don't want these women to actually hold the responsibility. If you want these niggas to be cute, then stop saying that niggas don't build, because they're not supposed to. You're supposed to, but you don't want to do that. So when it all comes back to women want to keep boys into a sexual concubine, a nigga buck. And it's like people see that, but they want to say that I wasn't taught is an excuse. The thing about it is, okay, well, why I need to pick somebody that was taught. How about that? And if it ain't you, it just ain't you. But then you can't do that because then you're a coon. Then you hate yourself. And Poor Man was talking about this before. There's literally a word for every standard that a man has in a woman. There's a word shaming it. There's very few words in standards that women have for men. It really is. And then I got to deal with motherfuckers like Kay, who, like they want, like, again, this is kind of cognitive dissonance stuff. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, but Ed.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what you're saying about, the whole they didn't know thing, that's a complete lie, simply because of the fact that I'm sure y'all remember how during Obama's administration, he wanted to do My Brother's Keeper. And the main group that came out to stop that was who? That wrote in letters.
Yeah, black women. But here's the problem. Here's the problem: is black men didn't make that enough of a point. See?
Oh no, Ed. It wasn't just black women too. It was black men that wrote in too. So like going back to what you and Freeman said, it's like the women know what they're doing, and they have these I think we call trained Negroes LLCs that come in written out the script. The whole I didn't know thing is a lie. They know.
Yeah, and that's why when people used to say there's all these black male politicians, but these black male politicians are selected by these they working for these women. They're not working for
exactly. Like so,
some of them are mama's boys too.
Yeah. So you have, but see again, the men choose, like a lot of the dudes, and I'm not blaming the dudes, but I'm saying this is a consequence of it. When you choose to not say that, so now it's kind of like it's said, but it doesn't have the same impact. There should be honestly, like we should invest in a documentary of all of these like initiatives that help black boys and how they were cut. That way you go into great detail interviews of how these things have been cut, why it happened, all of that. So that way when we need to piggyback off that stuff, then it can be documentation. This is what you're doing. So when you talk about why isn't this the way it is, you whether you want to act like you know it or not, there's a reason for it. You may not like the answer. So, and Dr. T.S.I. Johnson is trying to do stuff like that with his institute, which is why everybody in the manosphere should be sharing like his channel and all of that, because he's really doing it, to definitely, benefit us. But again, And I get it. Like Suzette is Caribbean, fine. I mean, I get that. That's between her and like the Caribbean culture and shit.
Edward, and that whole immigrant shit is a smokescreen too. I'm sorry.
I think it can be too because
no, I'm telling you, it's a smokescreen, bro. It's a smokescreen.
If I live in South Florida, I'm telling you, if they were raised there, if they were raised in their home country, then came here, it's a lot different. It's way different.
If she was raised in the States, she has a G virus, just like the rest of them.
Absolutely.
The only difference is that for immigrant women who are raised in the States, they're two-faced in that they can't come home doing that shit. They'll do it outside. They can't come home saying that shit. That's the only difference.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of moving parts there too, because a lot of these women are going to be chasing white men and all of that. So it's that code switching. It's a lot of like I could have that conversation, but I just a lot of times choose not to.
I don't know, because like you said, like, it's out of your wheelhouse. Well, you wouldn't know really how to attack that. Well,
no, I do know. It's just it's not really affecting what I'm dealing with. Like, the reality of the situation is, here's the truth. The truth is the stuff that the manosphere has been around for like 10 years now, like on YouTube. This stuff is still actively happening today. You have new channels. The Lapeef Network is a perfect example of it. The Lapeef Network is not promoting the shit I'm talking about. The Lapeef Network is promoting a lot of this I don't know shit. They're promoting that. When I say I don't know, if you got like a chick like Kay on there, Kay is a teacher.
Yep.
And so when we say we don't know, but she's actively playing like she doesn't understand basic concepts. She tried to act like she didn't even understand that like short dudes don't get picked like that. It's an intention to slow down the conversation, and you have to understand who benefits from that. Well, everybody is always trying to sexually politic. They are always trying to terraform the environment to create an environment that allows them to get the most mates where they are, with them doing the least amount of work. A lot of the white boys complain because their white privilege doesn't have as much cachet as it used to. A lot of the black men try to do that shit when they try to play the game matters more than money. The shit, you see what I'm saying? Like everybody does it. So usually when we're having these conversations, it's usually from the context of, you need to give me a reprieve because of X, Y, and Z. At the end of the day, TJ did what she needed to do, and she got married, and she was happy with I'm not even saying that because she came up on here. She told a story how she there was some kind of dating app, and then the dude didn't something didn't happen, and she ended up reaching out to the dude. And then the dude said, based on like her resume and all the stuff she had, I didn't think somebody with all of that was going to want to deal with me. AKA somebody like that is going to be a problem that I'm not trying to deal with. And and if they come, they go have to come to me, because that way I need to know that they're interested. You see what I'm saying? That's really what means.
Because
she did that, and as a result, that led to what that led to, and she got married. So for her, she did what you need to do. But my point is, a lot of these women, they never have that kind of insight ever. They will go to the grave on this bullshit, or they'll start just fucking other women because they hate men that much. You know how it goes.
It's down to ground zero. It's down to ground zero. They're not made. This society is not really made for women in general to submit to male authority unless you're white. So. That's the problem. So even remember people using Will Smith and Jada, where he make all the money, but Jada still don't know how to act. So it doesn't even matter how much money you make now. It's about the culture that these women are raised under. So like I think someone made a point where if they're raised in their own country, I'll add on to that is that they at least they see what it's like and the benefits of submitting to a responsible man. So they got a long road ahead of them, and I'm seeing my young brothers in the in my classes. You see, I mean, they hollering at other than sisters, man. So
Yeah,
I can imagine middle school too.
Yeah, I mean the thing about it is, here's the good news. The good news for a black female is the bar is so fucking low. Is you can tippy toe over that motherfucker. All you got to do is be better than the average chicks as far as attitude and all of that. And then, at least in the black community, you're gonna be looked at as better. If somebody wants some positivity, without me lying to you, that's the good news. That's one thing they have accomplished. If you in shape, you got a little bump in behind, and you in shape, and you know how to smile and say I'm sorry, chances are you'll get married to a dude that he may not be six figures, but he's on his way. It's not hard. One of the things that Suzette said is she said, unless you've been steeped into this manosphere stuff, which she hasn't. The lead attorney is technically in the manosphere, but he ain't really like, they are very surface. They ain't really going.
He's an orbiter.
Yeah, and to be fair, the lead attorney is somebody that could legit. He probably be the best candidate. I would actually say lead attorney might be a better candidate to be on TV than Kevin. Because he's somebody that can kind of push this shit in a way that it would translate. But the thing about it is, a lot of these times when they talk about the manosphere, they listen to random videos, but they not really listening to people like a BGS or Dr. Tiasan Johnson. People that they can bring up books, feminist books, the book Fraser. They can bring up so much documentation. You cannot challenge anything because they got their shit sold up so much. They're not listening to dudes like that because they have higher subscribership. So I know they're listening to random videos and the algorithm don't push BGS like that. The algorithm don't push Tia Signs like that. The algorithm don't push Tommy Curry like that. So we know you're listening to a lot of the guys with I don't even know if you listen to white dudes. So who you listening to? Right. So again, this is why, like, you take Courtney. Courtney felt like she literally told us we need to go back and look at the stats, and she was looking at them backwards. So I know you're not really listening to nobody because you haven't really been humbled yet.
And then they come on my panel attacking the brothers on my panel as that we sitting there like doing granocracy like 30 times and talking about aborting sisters and all. I'm like, y'all need to go where they talking about this stuff, man. I don't know where they get this stuff from.
Yeah, they never really say where they're getting this information from. They always get it vague. Yeah, you can share your screen. We see if it'll let you do it.
Can you see it?
Oh, your sister profile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So we didn't know, or I didn't know. Look at that number.
38% of students in grades 3 through 7 passed the math section of the 38. God damn. 10%.
10% in Detroit. 10%.
No, the lead attorney knows who BGS is.
Huh?
Shit.
Like how
10%.
How do you not know? You know very well. And how do black
people high school?
And that's an Anton's
no, that was grades 3 through 7. That's most of K through 12 right there. Failing.
You understand? And they're like,
well,
we didn't know.
That's 3rd to 7th grade. Can you go to high school?
Oh, it's just as bad. But here we go.
Oh man.
Here we go. This is Detroit. Here we go.
Well, we know Detroit's piece.
Edward, like, we already know.
Here's your board of education.
The only thing worse than Detroit is Milwaukee.
We don't know.
No, again, like I said, but the whole we don't know thing. I mean, like Ed said, maybe on an individual level, sure. But 80 of y'all can't say we didn't know.
Yeah, and I wasn't talking about the criminals of tomorrow. And I wasn't talking about individual. I was talking about the body, like when you look at like the black body or that's what I was
cultural zeitgeist. The cultural zeitgeist knows. The
cultural body knows. They want to act like they didn't throw the gauntlet now that it's being answered. That's what they want to do. Yeah, like we didn't throw the gauntlet. They want to act like at the end of the war, when they know they lost, a soldier takes his uniform off and picks up a shovel like, "Ooh, that was crazy."
Well,
I can't believe that, man.
Yeah, we know all of them. We already know, like David Carroll says, the trifecta, the three-headed monster is that black pastor, the Democratic Party, and the black woman. That's pretty much what it is, and we know all of them are Democrats. We know, I mean,
90%.
Yeah, so
they individually know too. not just as a collective. They individually.
No, yeah, because I mean, like, there are ways to trigger it too. Like, there are phrases you can say. Like, for example, with this whole Summer Walker shit, I was like, if I was on Facebook and I was like, if you find solace in her album, I know you ain't shit.
I mean,
man, I was getting a ratio for that comment.
I mean, the thing about that, when you look at, come on, man, come on. Like, say what you want to about Keisha Cole. Keisha Cole had a tattoo on her arm, but Keisha Cole looked like Summer Walker looks like she came out of Arkham Asylum. And I'm not like Jackie. You know Keisha Cole, right?
Yes.
Okay, Keisha Cole, and Keisha Cole. Compare. They both make the same kind of. Keisha Cole is more talented, but they both make the same kind of music. But really, look at Keisha Cole, and Keisha Cole has not had great dating options, even though she had Jeezy. She's had some catches, by the way. But really compare Keisha Cole and then compare Summer Walker. Like, just look at it.
I always say Summer Walker is like
Summer looks
black
dirty.
Girl Post Malone. She just looks.
Yeah, Summer looks dirty. You're right.
I'm not even saying all that. What I'm saying is, when you look at her,
she looks dirty, bro.
When you look at her,
yeah,
she looks dirty.
Keep in mind.
She was right. Yeah, a female Post Malone. She
keep in mind, these are the dark skinned niggas saying this. I just want to be clear about that.
I've been told I'm light. When I tell people that I've made it in life, I'm light skinned.
But I get what you're saying. But you know how niggas run with stuff. But like straight up, like when you look at like not even just the tattoos, but you look at like the plastic shirt. It's like God. And then now that I know what her record deal was. Man, Mary J. Blige would have threatened somebody's life if they, Diddy tried to sign Mary J. Blige, and Diddy tried that shit, and Mary J. Blige bounced because she was like, nigga, I'll kill you. She said, I like you, but you do that, I will kill you if you give me some shit like that. 85,000, 15.
No, it was for every album. She gets 1 cent.
No,
and then
she gets 15 cents for every dollar.
For every dollar,
dollar sold.
Yeah.
And an $85,000 advance. I'm like, you could have went on OnlyFans, and technically Summer Walker used to be a stripper. I'm like, oh my God.
Like I said though, like
told her to sign this.
It's there are easy ways to trigger that shit. Like for example, with Ed's question of
bitch, you can go to the bank and get a loan for that shit. Like you can get an equity loan for that shit. Like shit. Like what? Oh my God! And she got to pay that because she got to pay the $85,000 back.
Yep.
Wow, I'm looking at a picture of Summer Walker. Wow.
Gotta pay it back.
Yeah,
that's like a Suburban. That's a well-equipped Suburban. That's about it.
Dude. I mean, Summer. A pimp would have gave you so much better rates.
A pimp would have gave you so much.
Like, I mean, straight up. I mean, am I lying though?
No, you are not. She got a well-equipped Suburban that she has to pay back.
What's the dude's name? A pimp called Slipback. He's like, well, the bitch gotta wash her ass. Shit, I gotta give her more than 15 cents. Damn.
Pimp could have paid you better than that. Oh,
I mean, who did that? Like, ain't no black man. Ain't no way a black man go pull that move.
Because she would have called names.
Oh yeah.
She would have said, did this nigga over here made me get my roll back contract for me? It was him. Get him on Twitter.
I mean, shit. London you might as well. I mean, London on the Track would have gave you a better deal with that. Like you just gotta let me cheat though.
You gotta let me cheat.
I mean, yeah, and don't say nothing. But shit, I got love for you. It's just you just not the only bitch I'm fucking.
No,
that's it. If you can get over that, we good. Stop. They said London on the Track, the first producer to get paid on a diss record about him.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like I said,
have the album.
Like I said though, like when I like women who identify with her, I was like, but if we say that right, because I said it on Facebook, I had girls from like high school in my mentions talking about, oh, you must hate women. Oh, I'm like, I know you ain't shit. I know you ain't shit. Because if that triggered you, I know you ain't shit. Like if you find kindred spirits, Summer Walker, I know you ain't shit.
I mean, I'm just gonna say you all need to respect me and come up with some better like rebuttals. I'm tired of these pre-2010. You must hate women. I mean, that book is so old and dusty now. You hate women.
I mean,
you
like
know,
David Carroll
yo mama
says,
black. Come up with some.
It's the same snap count, right? the same thing.
The same snap count.
The same snap count.
I need
your
you to pull some
mama black
audibles.
on 3. Mama black on 3.
Yeah, that's why it's time for consequences.
That's funny.
That's all it is. It's consequences.
Yeah, but I felt bad for Summer Walker because that's like some legendary, like 85. I'm like, and you gotta think about it, and because it's never been easier to be independent. I'm like, yo, you might as well should have, I want you to really like Summer Walker, and then Summer Walker could have got pregnant. She got pregnant by Love in the Chat. That's a better deal.
Like, yo,
I don't know, man. Like that, I felt. I ain't gonna lie, I did feel bad for her. I'm like, she ain't never talked that much shit about black men to be getting fucked like that.
No, after London on the Track did her what he did, he was like, niggas ain't shit. Well, literally, she started saying that shit. So
she need to start. That's why you need to start feeding that baby though. Stop trying to. No, I'm not even playing like that. You don't want to see no skinny baby. Like y'all already said what y'all. I just prefer not to use the terminology about a black woman not being clean. Y'all not gonna hear that come out of my mouth because stream team memes are not clipping me.
When you put it like that, I see your point, but she was right though. She looks
that's why we call people Malone. That's why we call people dusty.
Like Post Malone looks dirty, even when he's clean.
Nah, Summer Walker is beyond dusty, man. That's some sort of a new category.
She's a gutter girl.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And the thing that was unfortunate is she don't even gotta look like that. She really.
It was everything she did was by choice. That's what crazy part about it.
Right.
She said that's what the drug Molly does to the drink. Yeah, Jason Black forever talk about Molly's. Yo, shout out to Netflix, man, because when you be they be doing the Drugs Inc. shit, you learn a lot about them drugs, man. Molly, I ain't gonna lie, that's the episode. They had a whole bunch of sisters on there, like, yeah, you want to do some Molly's and spring break.
Oh yeah, Ed. So how do you feel about your girl Amara? Becoming a twin, having twins out of nowhere.
I mean, she miscarried the first time. I mean, I guess she's 31. She got baby fever.
Oh God.
People talk about, oh well, she a single mom now. I'm like, hey man, but she didn't have it with a white dude like y'all kept on talking shit about me. I just said a Maryland nigga look good and she carries herself.
Oh, we know he's not white.
Yeah, the dude is they know who the dude is. I don't know why it's the dude that she does business with those Dominican projects.
So then why is she saying like, damn, that's really messed up then? Shit. So like she did that knowing, God damn.
You really think she don't know? She don't know who the fuck it is? She
no,
just
because
ain't trying to put the dude out there. She ain't trying to claim him like that. Probably.
That's even crazier then.
I don't know.
That's even crazier because like when she was talking about it on Instagram, she was like, I'm scared and happy because I have kids now, but I'm a single mom. And I'm like, so wait, like, are you like it was on purpose, bitch? Like, what do you mean?
I don't know. Amara might try to, because you gotta remember, one of the things that's kind of hurt her career. Black women don't. Well, not really. Black women don't resonate with. Amara doesn't resonate with black women. She doesn't.
She's Hispanic.
Well,
Latinos don't care. Latinos don't care.
And she wears that. She wears that too much. I mean, you're never gonna be truly accepted. You gotta pick. Go ahead, Art.
I said she was on that submission thing a little bit. So
yeah, so black women were not gonna. And that kind of messed her up. That stifled her growth. So maybe a single mother thing. I mean, she probably won a kid and got baby fever anyway because she's 31. But maybe because you got to think, if she the longer she waits, the more that's gonna mess her up. Versus if she do it now, she could kind of recover, and she got her own money, so she's fine. I mean,
she does, but like, it's just funny how like when you follow the breadcrumbs, right?
Well, she ain't ADOS, so she don't count. Like I don't put her in the African American L's because she's not ADOS. I mean, she's not. I mean, they got enough to deal with. So that's to me, I charge that with that Dominican shit. You got to remember, 85% of Colombian women are single mothers. 85%. 85%. So Latins. See, the problem with the thing about the Latins is the difference between. See, people are always about single mom. No, it's what it represents and everything that comes with it. When black men think of single motherhood, what we think of is that strong, independent, I don't need no man shit. We think of child support. See, in Latin America, you're not pulling that shit like that down there. Like if you on your own, you gonna really be on your own, and the family's gonna put pressure on you. If that dude has economic value and that dude ain't whooping your ass, they not gonna let you. They not gonna let you keep the. They gonna want that dude to be as invested in that kid as possible because they like you're not gonna burden my ass.
He's not whooping your ass.
Yeah, they be like, is he giving you money? Yeah. Is he beating your ass? No. Then what the fuck are you talking to me about?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Like,
he said my food is nasty. Well, it is. I tried.
You know how bad you gotta cook to have a dude say your food is nasty?
And be honest with it.
You know what I mean? For real. Because how much leeway do we grant a woman that's just gonna make us some food? You know what I mean? Like your food has to be awful for a dude to say it ain't good.
And you know, you saying that, I mean, it goes to what I said in a video of mine, I think I made it yesterday, is that, you know, the problem, like Ed said, women today don't know what misogyny looks like anymore. Like they don't.
Yeah, that chauvinism shit made me laugh.
Like they don't know what it looks like anymore. Most men aren't capable of being that anymore anyway. Like guys are scared to say,
not
"Oh, you
really."
know what's good."
Not really. Yeah, exactly. Because
so it's like,
so
it's like a two-way street. Like the women don't know what it looks like, and the men don't know how to be it anymore in the West.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't believe you niggas.
They gotta learn. They gotta learn along with the women. That's the thing about the gynocracy. There's a lot of male soldiers.
I still can't believe you niggas. Y'all lucky my channel's relatively small because I still can't believe you niggas just came up there and fucked with my channel talking about Summer Walker's. Yeah, she's dirty. She's dirty. That's all I need is one of these niggas, like the fucking honest.
The honest truth. What is his name?
Or Shay, I told you this nigga hates women. He didn't check
Manosphere light skin nigga called Summer Walker dirty. That'd be a title.
Edward put my name.
It'll be like Edward Hurricane Anderson of
Manosphere. No, because at that point, I'll be like, no, a non-ADO, an African.
It was me. It was the Nigerian and the bottom right. I said it.
It was me. They can drag me. It was me.
It was me. I said it, and I stand by.
Well,
it.
You know, with Summer Walker, sometimes Summer Walker is not. Her credit card. She's got a couple of negative points on her credit card with the Black sisterhood because black women really didn't like when they saw that picture of her baby skinny and she talked about we don't feed him milk.
Because it was that vegan diet, right?
They didn't like that because remember that's one of the few things as a black you thou shall not make black motherhood look bad. So if you it's better to kill your kids than to abandon your kids.
God damn.
That's the reason why.
You are, but like when you just say it like that, it's like
yeah. So even black women were dragging Summer Walker with that shit, and she got mad. Go ahead, Art.
No, I said that's the reason why they keep saying they forget because if they keep saying they forget, they don't have to be responsible. So that's they don't want to take the blame for whatever bad happens with either boys or girls.
Yeah, but
I mean, look, man, I'm telling you right now, and this is why I said, people can have their individual stuff because that's between them and their individual stuff, and that's why I acknowledge people's individual stuff. I acknowledge what Kareem's saying. I acknowledge what TJ's saying. Understand something like if I'm homeschooling, if I get kids, I'm homeschooling them. I got do not believe that I don't got things in place that in case I do get kids. I think about that stuff now. So Yeah, like I'm homeschooling these people because I don't trust this fuck this critical race theory, fuck all that shit, you know. And it is what's sad. I can, as far as there is so many things like YouTube stuff out here, and when I say YouTube, I'm talking about like legit educational academic level stuff like home team history from it's a lot of like pick a category if you really know what it is. But I've learned about like, and North Carolina has a lot of different stuff, but even outside of that, at the end of the day, it's gonna start being every man for themselves, and that's gonna be America in general. Like I hate to bring Glendon up, but Glendon is dead ass. We keep on saying like you gonna be globally reset. That's why Glendon killed me. That's why your ass gonna be fucking globally reset.
Yeah, they are. They are. Watch the black women are overrepresented in the public sector, and when the public sector goes broke, just wait till it goes broke, because all those marketing majors and communication majors, all that sociology, they can get a decent job with the county and the city and this and that, but that is going to come to a halt. A swift
Also,
halt.
you have to look at that they're overly used as symbols. You know, because at first they try to use this whole thing about if he can make it, so could you. Now they're trying to use these sisters as symbols just by having positions, not even doing anything, but just being the first Negra vice president, the first Negra chairperson, the first this. And they're not really, and they still not making the same money as their counterparts.
Yeah, because that's a small percentage of women too. That's you're right. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the way the community tries to project it, they'll try to project it like every bitch got a degree. And I'm like, even within the ones that do got a degree, most of y'all are in debt. Like I said, the smart females go take their ass in the military and get some benefits first. You know, because they know they not gonna be thrown out there to get shot at. The worst thing they'll be put in is in them things to do the drone. Yeah, you already know, because you already know, they be want women to get in the military for nothing else. As long as you ain't trying to act like you trying to, we want to do everything men do. If you get in there and you just do what you trying to do, I'm sure they got extra benefits for females doing it. Just like how they got extra benefits for women doing Uber and shit. So you don't. The thing is, like the individual female, it really, as long as you ain't completely fucked yourself, it's really not as bad. The problem is you're in an environment that is incentivized to keep you in a diluted state so you can buy shit. That's really what it is. That nobody has the incentive to tell you the truth, so you have to anchor yourself to people you can trust. They used to be dudes in your family, because they not trying to fuck you. So they have no incentive to not tell you what the fuck it really is, but women have divorced themselves from that, so they want to do these African kinship network bullshit, and I'm sure that's working out great. Trust me, I have stories in my Uber car, some of the ratchetry that's gone. Like when women know that women dealing with nothing but women usually does not create good outcomes. Women know that shit because you can't tell other women shit. Am I wrong, Jackie?
You're right.
You have one disagreement with the bitch, and the bitch want to slit your throat. There's an article of a chick just walking out her car and shooting the bitch, walking right back in her car. They were friends.
Well, isn't that why lesbians have the most domestic violence?
Yeah,
they do. They do. Like, and because even if dudes are gay, dudes know what other dudes can do, gay or not. Women, they got this thing where they just don't have a governor. For those of y'all don't know, governors, what you put on your car to keep them from not being able to go as fast as they could be in order for the red line the car. They don't have no governor on that. And that's why I said a woman is more likely to get her ass whooped or jumped by another woman than they are a dude. Because look, say what you want to, there's real consequences for men hitting women under any circumstances. There's not, look, you remember the women that were like the big woman, she got the big hands, where it's probably the closest thing you would be to getting your ass like literally whooped by a dude. If a woman like that beats your ass, it don't matter how big she is, how small you is, as long as she was born a woman, ain't nobody gonna give a fuck. They not gonna give as much of a fuck as it be at 5'5". If I hit a chick that's 5'10", they're gonna, that's her female. I'm looking up to this bitch. But let a 6-foot chick beat up on a 5'1" chick and they the same age, it's not the same kind of emotional impact. It's not. And I've seen women fucking like
Get
fucking
destroyed.
Grand Theft Auto female. I'm talking take their head by their hair, banging against the goddamn wall. I'm talking about for like 2 minutes, and then the fucking security guard just looks like he enjoying what he's seeing. I even told the guy one time, his name was Chris. I was like, Chris, you like what you see? You ain't gonna jump in there and mace them like you mace all of us? You just gonna let her whoop his ass? And then he said, I'm waiting for them to get tired. Well, one of them is probably gonna die before they get tired, because this is a one-way fight. That shit's funny, man. And them, man,
because they pull hair.
yeah, these man, and then don't get me started with the slicing shit. That don't happen in the South. That's some New York shit. They be slicing the light-skinned bitches. Like, yo, y'all don't know. And so what happens is women, this is where you get that mental illness where you be like, why you do that? You be like, I don't know. I didn't know. I mean, I'm talking about
it all happens so fast.
Yeah, I'm talking about women that would fight a dude. If those type of women start fighting these females, and then motherfuckers are walking out here like that shit don't happen. And I'm like, yo, that shit happens all the time, especially nowadays. And then these fucking females will don't let you be a really attractive chick, and then they like some of the dudes that you able to pull without doing nothing. Oh yeah, they gonna fuck you up. Them motherfuckers gonna beat your ass. They like you talk about some bullying. And then and by the way, the dudes ain't gonna protect you either, because they're not taught to separate good black women from bad black women. They not gonna do nothing. They not. And a lot of these women know that, which is why a lot of these women don't speak up as much. Why don't y'all speak up? Why don't y'all just tell these bitches what the fuck they doing is wrong? Because they're gonna put themselves in mortal danger. You niggas ain't gonna protect them against these hoes. That gynocentric programming's gonna fucking kick in. Be like, I don't know what to do. They're both women. They're both queens. One of them is getting killed. I don't know what to do.
And also, Ed, it's also that, like, you know, over the last couple decades, not even decades, is that like society doesn't like to put women as villains to women and men. So a lot of women get away with, like, well, for example, like a child abuse. If you look at the stats for that, it's almost like 98% of the time it's women who abuse children. But whenever we talk about children and abuse, it's always labeled as a male issue.
Man, the niggas don't even got custody.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like society doesn't like to see women as villains. So even in that case, like, oh, you know, if two women fight, who's the aggressor? No one.
No, they're not.
It's you got to follow the money, man.
Yeah,
you got to follow the money. I mean, whatever. Put it this way: whether you're a politician, entertainer, or any of these industries, as long as the woman's happy and they got your attention, she gonna pull out some money. She gonna pull out her purse.
No, yeah.
So politicians got that game locked down solid.
Yeah, it's well known
and that's where black men fuck up too. Black men, like, even if you don't vote, you got to start putting your money behind even if you don't do it politically. This is why, you know, black male media is important, and you got to buy your voice. You know, I've had plenty of videos of women like Melody is real bad for that. She'll come in here and out super chat all you niggas and make all you niggas look broke. Hint, hint, hint. Like, women do that. I had a female like a woman that ironically reminds me a little bit of Suzette. She called in the Kevin show, and it was the episode where Kevin was saying, you coddling your son because you buying them Gucci belts and shit, because that's what she said she was doing, because she was making 6 figures in corporate America and she's a single mom. And he was telling her how, like, that boy needs, like, she was giving him her legit advice, and but she had her shit together for the most part. And then she ended up coming to my show, and then she liked what I had to say and thought I was very fair about what I wanted to say. And I went through a couple of the videos she told me to go through, and then she gave me $75 in a Cash App. And I said, and this is one of the earlier parts of my show, and I said, this is why these niggas start simping, because it pays. It pays to simp. It pays to tell these chicks what they want to hear. That's why a lot of these I call it emotional dope dealing.
No, Ed, you're right, because recent economy statistics came out and said that of all the, you know, typical parents are, like, you know, married couples, single men, single women, and then when you go by gender, of gender. But when you go by like interracially and by orientation, single women make the least but spend the most amongst all other groups. Like single women spend more than married couples.
Spend every
So this goes back to why like all these government programs are put in place, because when women were added to the working class, they made them a hyper consumer group that can work, X amount of hours and spend all their money in the same amount of hours.
But exactly. They literally give the money back to the corporations they do it to. And like I said, you got to say, like my prevailing thing on this channel is 80-20. 20% of women operate within a level of common sense. 80% is degree to dysfunction. Make no mistake, I know black men ain't shit. So you ain't, this idea, nigga, well, you advocate for these niggas. Trust me, I see these dumbass niggas too. But my thing is, if you fucking them, I can't argue that. Go ahead, TJ.
Thank you for welcoming me back. I'm home now, so I definitely have a better connection. I think Jackie was talking about when she was growing up, she saw something, saw her mom and knew something wasn't right. Am I wrong? Something to that effect? I can agree with that. That I saw something when, the things that my mom did wasn't right. But again, I grew up in an age that you didn't question that. You just didn't. But then same thing with my daughter.
You grew up in an age where you would get your ass, shit would be slapped out of you like Lakeview Terrace. Like y'all forget, depending on what generation you come out of, black women, when they say little girl, if they got to enforce that with the heavy hand, they would. See, y'all, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. And again, and you make a good point, because it's a daunting thing when you realize that your parent is not as perfect as you thought they were, as you thought they were, and you damn sure can't tell them that, particularly when they're raising you. And then, but I said, kind of like what she talked about. I said I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to have. And in some ways, I did not do those things. I broke that curse. But then there are some ways that I didn't. And I passed those things along, and I reverted back to what I had seen when raising my daughter. Again, thinking I was doing the right thing, but in many cases I wasn't. But like you, Jackie, she said, I didn't want that. She wanted a husband. She wanted to have a family. She didn't want to be in the military, moving around all the time. So, and then she was the only one in our family that did it right. What I mean by that, got married first and had a kid. So it is daunting. And, my daughter talks about it. And again, it's very humbling. And I've cried many a tear about the fact that I was, as well as I thought I was doing, I failed. So,
what happened to your daughter? You think you failed? Like, what was something like really happened, or?
No. I mean, I failed in showing her how to be a wife, or preparing her to be a wife, because she, by her own admission, when she knew that she wanted to be that, because she didn't see her mother being that. And when I was married to her father for a couple of years, what she saw was dysfunction, a lot. I don't discriminate though. So, and that's when I mean by failed her, not showing her how to be a wife, because I really didn't know how to be one myself. So that's what I mean. And, but gratefully, she did what she needed to do to get what she wanted. And, to the extent where I heard you talking about me on the way home with respect to my husband. Absolutely. I had to reach out to him because he was not going to reach out to me. And I would have missed the best thing that ever happened to me. But again, sometimes we women put off this air that, whether we intend to or not, we put off this air like we think we're better.
Yeah. So, and the reason why I say that is because the thing about it is, dudes have their own stuff that they're going to deal with. See, here's the thing about black men that we know. We know that life is going to come at black men fast, regardless of what the fuck you do. So when people say, what about black men being held accountable? Well, guess what? Life is about to hold these niggas accountable. If it don't matter if you have this thing called a free education. And even if your parents ain't shit, if you think it's cool to not. And I had a younger brother that played that game with high school, you know, and he got his shit together eventually, but he played that game where he didn't care about school. He wanted to skip school. He wanted to do all that bullshit. Now, my middle brother, my mom had something called reminder whoopings, where she would whoop his ass. No, it sounds horrible when that's the way I say it, but it wasn't that bad, I promise. She would whoop his ass even if he got A on his fucking test until he got the AB honor roll. She didn't do that with my youngest brother. She would not. I'd be damned she do that to me. But and I didn't always get A's, but she did that to my middle brother, and that shit worked. My middle brother's a fucking operations manager making like $80,000, and he just turned 30, and he's making that here in the South in North Carolina. So and my brother wasn't that bad. But my youngest brother, she didn't do that. My point is, if you go into school, at the end of the day, do not think that if you can't fucking read and write, and then you come in and me talk about, well, you know, my mom wasn't this, wasn't that. I'm like, yo, all you had to do is get the fuck up, go to school with the free bus, and go to fucking school. So I'm not about to say, yeah, man, your mama won shit. That's why you can't read and write. I'm not about to tell them niggas that. I don't know. Like, I want to be clear. I'm like, no, nigga, you a stupid motherfucker. And it's like, look, at the end of the fucking day, you better find whatever program, go whatever community school.
That shouldn't be funny, but it is.
Yeah, like I'm not like, yeah, show your mom. Okay, your mama ain't shit. But single motherhood is X, Y in the community. So that means a whole bunch of other motherfuckers did know how to. Again, I have all three of my brothers got different dads. So this ain't no, fuck that. You ain't shit. Now I don't give a fuck about the reason. So people be thinking, but the problem, I don't talk about the dudes because there is, and then even with that, if you can't, even with that, depending on how bad the military needs you, they'll take you in the military and get benefits. There's options. And you can go in the military up until I believe like 35, you know, or National Guard, something. You not National Guard, the reserves.
It depends.
Marcus did it at 34 in the Army Reserves.
Okay,
Yeah,
must
you
be
can
a waiver.
Right, I think it's 30, but you got to get a waiver. At least when I went in, I went in older.
We'll go with 28. Yeah, just so we get 2 years. So we know you could fuck around high school, fuck around for 6 years, and be like, oh damn, I need to get my life together, and then go to your nearest mall with your nearest fucking recruit, and they'll probably take you. You know. Yep. So let's keep that. And then you got a situation, you getting 3 square meals, you getting a check. Well, I gotta do what the fuck this random nigga tell me. Well, if he racist, well, nigga,
free dental and medical insurance.
Yeah. Now I chose not to do that because I was a business person. But the reality is, that's an option. So you could fuck around and still do that. So. But we know there's prison for these niggas. There's homelessness for these dudes. Life is not going to care about black men. There are not the safety mechanisms. So we know that urgency is there. So if dudes want to sit there and be delusional like women, okay, well, you about to see some different shit a lot quicker than what the women are going to see. So we don't have, that's why when people talk about, well, what about the men being accountable? Life is going to hold. See, life ain't going to really deal. It takes a long time for a woman doesn't really lose her sexual market-based value completely until she's in her 40s, unless she just ain't taking care of herself at all anyway. So it takes a long time for a woman to kind of the shoe to hit the fan in the same way. So that allows a woman to be able to do a lot more damage in that time. BGS says a womb can fuck up 5 generations. Now he's 60 years old, so I'm gonna leave him with that. But the thing is, there's a lot of time that can do, and then because a woman can control sexual access, they have somewhat leverage. It just depends on what type of dude are they willing to settle. It's blasphemy. So this is why the focus gets put on the women in the manosphere, because with dudes, it's like, look, it's just like when I coach dudes. It's like, look, you either gonna do the fucking job or you gonna get fired. I can't say that to a female. I gotta deal with her feelings, gotta deal with her motivation. I gotta be a fucking psychologist, because if I say something wrong, I'm going to HR, and I've been to HR before. And HR is basically a court martial, Like straight up. And I ain't been to HR for nothing bad like sexual harassment, but I sometimes get go hard in the, like, if I know these people ain't doing their job, it's like, look, you know what you're doing, I know what you're doing. Then a bitch go in there, oh, I just don't feel empowered being on his team. And then the next thing you know, I got a team of nothing but women for like the next 2 years. I'm like, wow, you trying to get me fired. Like, you really, like, I know how to talk to black women to motivate them, so you're not going to get me fired this way. You know, but sometimes I just don't give a shit, you know. And then you dealing with black females that are fucking operations managers, and then the white guy is scared of them, so you can't. This the fucking general manager, so you can't go nowhere. And you dealing with different types of fuckery. You know, you dealing with bougie fuckery, then you dealing with hood fuckery. Don't even get me started on that.
I wish I could say that none of that is true, but it is all true.
Yeah. now what helped me out is my boss, they all wanted to have sex with him, so he was able to kind of, you know, give me a reset, because they all, you know, he was that they would pass around if he could, but he was married.
Hey, I gotta drop. I'll try to be back if I can, Ed.
Yeah, I'm about to end this. But anyway, I'm about to end this now. It's been a great conversation. Appreciate your $10, TJ. And shout out to Shannon too, because Shannon also has really great conversations too. Anyway, I think y'all wondering what the fuck this is. Do y'all know what this is?
No.
What is this look? This is Kevin fucking Samuels.
Brittany Renner.
Is that Brittany Renner? Like, oh shit.
This is what this nigga just posted on his thing. So this is what this nigga's about to do.
Man, Kevin wants those numbers.
And you know what Kevin had the nerve to ask? You know what Kevin had the nerve? I got, do you date old motherfuckers? You think I'm lying? Do you think I'm lying? I'll play shit.
I'm not surprised.
Let's play this shit.
Oh, wow. I've dealt with someone who was over 50.
Yeah, don't be writing down in the comment section.
Kevin wants those views.
Oh wow! Well, congratulations on that. And on that note, you all have a good evening.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for coming back.
Oh boy.
Good night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Take care, brother. Thank you for letting me come on the show here. Appreciate you, man.
Peace.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. I think, Art, this is your first time coming on my stuff.
Yeah, I've been waiting to find a good time to do it, but so you went down. You know, I don't like to go on panels where I don't know what I'm talking about. So
yeah, and my shit is always retarded. My shit is like a soap opera combined with me ranting. I get it. You know, I need to get my channel more formatted, and that's coming. So it's gonna be a lot more good topics like that. So absolutely. So yeah,
sometimes I try to come up to give some support. Like, man, I'm about to, because some people try to challenge you, and all of a sudden you switch gears. I'm like, man, I ain't coming up there.
Yeah, I should name this channel from the mind of Edward. You know, because literally that's literally what the fucking channel is. But yeah, peace out, man. Absolutely.
Well, peace to you, fam.
Yep, peace out. Yeah, that's what Kevin's doing. Yeah, I mean, no, actually, from a marketing standpoint, it's gold. From a market standpoint, it's gold, because again, I observe what people do, and Kevin was smart by not saying nothing about Brittany, because what is it really to say? I mean, because here's the thing: at the end of the fucking day, Brittany Renner is who she is. This is not a person that I would walk, oh, you stupid bitch, you did that to PJ, you need to die. No, I'm gonna be like, look, you know, if you're interacting with her, yeah, but I'm not, oh, you want to do this, do that. No, I'm gonna find a way to y'all may say I'm gay or whatever. I'm gonna find a way to weasel my ass out of that shit. Because no. I'm not doing that. Granted, she probably ain't gonna fuck with me anyway, because I ain't got no money. So I ain't gotta worry about that. But my thing is, a lot of y'all motherfuckers, y'all like, y'all just gotta know what your limits are. And a lot of these niggas don't. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be an interesting conversation. I think it would be an interesting conversation seeing black women that are older and black women that are younger having conversations, because it's not like they're gonna have the same conversation, because everybody's different. Yeah, and the thing about it is, yeah, like, dude, when I saw that, you know, we'll see, because people gonna pay attention to like body language, all of that. And Brittany Renner's 29 years old. She said, "I've dated older men." Yeah, the problem is she can't. We'll see. Anyway, so with that being said, it's been great. It's a great conversation. Appreciate that. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Shout out to Elite Attorney. The link is in the description. Definitely, you know, subscribe to his channel, because this is brought to you by his stuff. And yeah, with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace. Oh, there was a super chat by a cash out by somebody who wanted to make sure I got them as well. Shout out to Rajun for the $5. Shout out to Mr. Hodafo for the $6.68. I don't want to mess up your name. And everybody else, much appreciated. So this is Edward signing. Oh yeah, he is definitely, like, people are gonna be so mad. Like, this interview is go like he set it up, because by him, because you got to remember, there's blogs, a lot of these big blogs has got multiple million subscribers, like, on social media. They already teed. This is what they don't understand. By him putting that short, that Instagram, that YouTube short, or whatever we'll call it, the TikTok thing, whatever. He the story, the Instagram story, all these blogs did that speculative bullshit, and then by him doing an interview, which he's already done it, because y'all remember he did that with the Alibabas, the Jenny Baba's Asian chick, right? So now I don't know what that looks like. Hopefully that looks a little bit better. But my point is, with somebody like her that's already buzzed like that, dude, those blogs are gonna automatically blow that shit up. That's gonna blow that shit up, because you've had, and it's also the second one where people have already been talking about the interview with DJ Academics. And she's already in there for the attention. So yeah, Kevin is about to I mean, Kevin's already there. Kevin's at 1.24 million subscribers. So anyway, it's from I like looking at shit like that from a marketing perspective, because it's interesting to see, especially applied to social media. And yeah, he's at 1.25 million. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this stuff goes. So anyway, with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.